experiences, 100 Thieves Will, ex-champions player. So now he's going up against, I'd say, some of the best players individually in this event, and players like Tig and Rozzy who have been at that tier 1 level alongside Wardell, Brax, and Stewie, who just comes in with so much knowledge. How do they exploit and kind of break down this defensive side from the Nation? And one of the other concerns for this lineup for Dark Ratio is no Sage. You watch back the VOD, it was such a rough attacking side where the only site they could approach was A. And so we're going to have to see how they adapt to that, whether or not Will is going to be as explosive on this attacking side, or if it's going to be enough from the Nation to really shut him down.
It'll be fun. Again, with Brax, he's actually been pretty decent on this map. He dropped over 20 the last time they ended up playing, and just on the KJ alone, no Sage. That is so much potential for Nanoswarm pressure, for just a little bit of KJ util to be able to dissipate anything. And of course, if you play the KJ and the Viper together, that's pretty much be done for. But we're getting into it. The full BO3 between the Nation and Dark Ratio happening once again, this time for a spot in Challengers.
And it's Dark Ratio who have always leaned towards the A side with these pistol rounds, their bonus rounds, their second rounds, their anti-ecos, their ecos. It's just the easier site to take in general with no Sage Wall. And the Nation have elected to post it up here towards mid. Almost a full retake setup with Wardell kind of maintaining screens control. And it's a quick rotate. This knife comes out, so does the wall. And already in our pistol round between these two teams that have just come neck and neck. Pistol round win rates between the both of them, 61% for Dark Ratio, 62% for the Nation.
What?
And it's a 5-on-5 to kick off round number 1 of this best of 3.
Oh, it's gonna be so fun. Trick wants to start the party early. He wide swings, but he doesn't get anything. And instead, all the way from mid, it's Rossi taking down Drone. They still have some work to be done in the back of sight. They have at least one player making their way up. But Trick is going to be that first contact. Everyone from Dark Ratio away from sight currently, except for Will. Will just drops right into the tunnel, and he ends up getting 2. Canteen is all his, as now it's a 2v2. He can play a little bit of time, but Rossi, 18 HP, comes up from behind for the big kill. Ainge looking to play time, and he's doing it to a T. No chance for Rossi, and the pistol goes to Dark Ratio.
And a first round opening. After things looked a little bit rough, there were so many bodies coming out from the Nation. First kill from Rossi opens things up. The wall is up from Tig as well, splitting Ainge from the fight. But Will, that experience comes into play. And I think that raw skill as well, just being sprayed everywhere on that A site, takes everyone out and gives Dark Ratio their first round. Huge 2K from him. And now the Nation will be relegated here to pistols. It's a great opening for Dark Ratio because we're seeing how they want to approach this. It's a walk up into A, which is what they approach, and then just Will bursts again right onto the site, opens things up lovely.
You can already see, at least in this round, the step up of the two youngsters, Rossi and Tig, playing up on this side. But of course, it's a whole lot of players. It's 4 players here already. It's actually incredible that the Nation have these many players. Ooh. Against the guns of Dark Ratio, it might actually combine to do some decent damage, but they're backing out.
Yeah, this is a guy that we're looking at here, Zextro FN, by the way. It's him and Brax that I would have also put in our head-to-head, but you know, I think you have to highlight 2 of the best players and the most recognizable players, Wardell and Will. It's Zextro and Brax, which on their duels, I think obviously Zextro statistically has the better of it. I think he's a cracked zoomer, I think is the best way to put it. And so eyes on him and Will to really lead the charge. I think Trick has also been playing phenomenal. I saw a Reddit post and they said Stewie equals Trick, Drone equals, or Rossi is better than Drone, and Will is equal to Wardell. So we're gonna see how many of those get tested. And you know, I'm not gonna disagree or agree, but we'll have to see as the numbers are starting to fly. No Spike plan and 2 kills the way of the Nation.
Yeah, again, reminder, it's pistols here for the Nation. They're up 2 players right now. The plan hasn't even happened. They do have some decent utility on site, but they're still missing kind of that piece still, a resistance. They're missing the Sage Wall. There's no Siege here. The pistols get yet another kill. The SMGs could go nuts, though. 3 kills going back for Dark Ratio already, but 5 seconds. They need to plant. Brax gets the kill.
Stay alive, no time.
Left. He has to stay alive. Zexer has no time. The Nation pull off a thrifty.
I swear they've done this like 4 times just in the last 2 days. And the Nation have done it here once again. Rossi picking up 3 kills in that round alone to pull them back. And Dark Ratio, They're going to have lesser guns to work with. Will was just doing everything he can. 2 kills on the site with Zexro, but it's not enough. The Nation, a huge thrifty round, not resetting Dark Ratio entirely, but that just spins this whole game the other way. I mean, these are both the sides. These are the favored sides of both of these teams on Icebox. A 71% win rate on the defensive side, or apologies, a 64% win rate for the defensive side of the Nation, and 64% win rate on attack. So we're neck and neck when it comes to these odds.
It's as even as you can get. Will going in, though. Doesn't even the odds. Gives his team a bit of an advantage. One-man advantage. There's no one here in the middle of the site to try to fight this. The Nation, they don't try to deny it.
And he has an ultimate as well to work with your Will. That showstopper.
Low HP, though.
Yeah, can come into effect here, but I mean, it's kind of just
you can use it behind a smoke.
You just jump into it. Hopefully you get a frag. If you can't, then at least you bought time. 4 players, 1 back towards Snowman, but all 3 are here. And there's just so much utility here from Dark Ratio to delay.
Yeah, they still have snake bites, I think. Yeah, the delay a little more. Nanostorms could be coming in at any time. Finally, there goes the plant. There goes the
Stewie?
Showstopper in just to get the 1, but Stewie puts in so much damage. Again, still, the molly in the middle, the orb on top. A lot of damage being combined here.
But now, Will's in front.
Needs a swing, and Brax has the angle. The defuse. No way. No way.
Just enough time. 0.15 seconds. And I was like, you got to get on this. Like, Wardell healed himself to get back on the spike, but he just didn't hop on it. And he had the wall as well. Saved up, and you're going up against SMG, so the fire rate is high, but the damage is not enough. And a 2-1 start, but again, opening things up. I mean, Will with a huge entry, and a question is being answered already, how he wants to play. He's not switching it up at all. Already 6-3, and we're only 3 rounds in. And rifles back for both of these sides. This is where we'll see the true colors of how the Nation want to deal with that kind of aggression from Will.
Oh, and it's fast again. Immediately up into heaven. Flash takes away the early contact. Dark Ratio is going to have this full advantage. Going up into the elbow very soon. Even a Sage Wall up front, they get destroyed early. But they're not making any moves back over towards mid. The Nation do get that slow rotation on Dark Ratio. They're holding their positions as of now.
Yeah, the orb that dropped there over towards mid is going to keep some of these Nation players to constantly be looking over mid. If that orb pops, and they're going to wonder who's back towards mid. And that's what you're seeing here and where that drone came from. And that orb getting popped, it's going to force Rossi and Stewie to kind of sit back towards mid. They see nothing, they hear nothing. Now they know, or at least they're guessing where this A hit is coming through. They're leaving a lot of faith in Brax to hold that B site, and that's where this stack has come from. A great dart as well. They know it's been broken, they know there's presence here.
They're dedicating better to the back. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness, at least 4, maybe all 5 off of that one knife. 35 seconds left.
And the orb has gone back up, pulled Stewie here away, where they're going to have to deal with the split. Brax up in towards kitchen. Stewie kind of far. It's up to Brax if Stewie can't find anything.
1 kill and it's a Hunter's Fury though. He could have gotten a random one back over towards mid and denied the plant, but there's double Nano Swarm on site.
From Stewie.
Stewie 2K helping out in kitchen too.
And they're going back towards A. Back towards A. He has the Hunter's Fury though. He can deny this all. Stewie in position to do exactly just that, but it's not needed because Wardell is on the scene. A nice easy double, and they're going to close out the round. The Nation for 3.
What a reposition, but everyone holding on to their positions. Dark Ratio trying to play with the hearts and minds of the Nation. It doesn't work.
And Stewie, I mean, that 1 kill off the Hunter's Fury, you called it so critical in a position like this. But that orb has just got so much impact in these late rounds because the Nation don't push past it. They haven't put anyone down towards tube. We're going to see if they maybe want to adjust later on in this half of putting a player down tube instead of having that turret there. Because what Dark Ratio will continue to do, what they've done in the past, is manipulate you by just popping that orb, forcing the drone out, and continuously keeping players towards mid.
Deep wall. But this forces Dark Ratio on an eco to use so much util to potentially make their way into B if they want it, but they get an early pick.
And I think they're going to swing off of the fact that they have a lockdown here from Zexro.
Yeah, surely.
They don't know how many players are here. I don't know if Trick still has a drone or how long is Dart until he comes back up. He does have a drone, so he can clear out Rossi.
Good reposition,
Rossi,
though.
how do you get this timing? Do you even want to use your null command for denial of lockdown? Or do you want to play the retake? It looks like he's backed up, and he won't pop it here.
no lockdown. It could be an
Wow.
insanely deep
Strike
lockdown
down A.
to shut down the rotation, but Rossi shuts down 2. Definitely looking for more here. Anyone could swing at this point. Will is looking for a pick back over towards mid. Spike is having a difficult time finding a good position.
And Will has got the hero rifle here as well. Stewie and Rossi, high-low setup, and Trick is going to get punished.
And he's back already. How safe is this from Rossi? Rossi just shifting around, and Will finally bursts, but Brax is there for the trade. That was the setup from the beginning, but
30
definitely they
seconds
weren't
left.
expecting the top of Canteen. But Zexro, a 1v2 for the Fortnite man, 26 HP, and there's a man behind, but if he plants safe, he might be able to get an angle. We'll see, though. 17 seconds left. Zexro trying to
Tell
find
us.
some safe space. The Sage is not peeking, but finally, yeah, that's it.
Yeah, I think Wardell has this number no matter what. Nation for 4, Dark Ratio. Again, just their anti-eco, but you can already see the threats and how close these rounds are coming. I think Will and Zexro have been performing already exceptionally well. It'll be Drone to call the attack timeout and to see if they can pick apart the Nation, because they've gotten Will and Zexro in really good positions, and they're trusting a lot of that individual aim from a young guy like Zexro, especially on his solo lurks. And Rossi, another player we got to highlight and got to see him, the way that he's been performing, again, plus 101 in terms of his kills to deaths. And he's starting off hot here as well. Still has that lockdown to work with. A lot of ultimates coming to the forefront of this next round.
Yeah, Dark Ratio, it's quite the different setup, at least. I mean, just off of the lockdown alone, they're going to be aiming to plant with it, of course, because they don't have a lot to support them. They don't have that wall up on B, and surely if they use it on B, they'll have a bit more space to use. But it's worrying. I mean, again, I don't want to harp on it too much because I'm sure they had an idea with the comp. But because of still how pivotal that agent is and how much...
Yeah.
I mean, positioning they've taken away from the middle of B site. I mean, you need that wall.
I think what we'll see more, and obviously it's very early to call it, but this is I think a lot of people have called the defensive comp. Steel was one of the pioneers of this composition, having the KJ and the Viper, and it's been very effective on that B site. And so I think Dark Ratio, the rest of this half is about, okay, maintain and get as many rounds as we can, and they're going to approach this site full hit. Viper's been in a lockdown to try and combo to take control of this site, and we'll see how exactly they plan to counter. An early knife and an early push here from the Nation as they want this very early ground here towards B.
They're getting it, but there's still one. Has a one-way, and it's such a good one-way too. Tig, he's going to be the only one here.
He's bought time. And there's an alarm bot and a nanostorm in the middle.
There's
of
no one
two-
watching flank, or at
two
least no
nanostorms.
util watching it.
You
And they've
should
broken
run.
this turret here. It's Stewie. It's Ainge who's holding this lurk. Lockdown will give some space, but Ainge isn't there to pop the Viper's pit. And this could be a huge frag to deny it.
Goodbye.
Ainge does get the one onto Stewie. Come on.
There's a res.
He knows the stakes. He knows he has the Viper's pit. Good Molly. Could easily back up over towards Heaven, but there goes the revive as the Sage is in the back. There goes...
Now he's going to use it.
And Zexro doesn't do anything with it. And the Null command comes out too.
A little bit late. Viper's pit now online. And out in the open is Tig. Down he goes. Rossi, Wardell, and Stewie to work towards main, and Drone doesn't get spotted.
They're waiting so long for Drone. And Drone finally gets Brax. After the trade onto Will, a 3v3. It's so tough though. Nobody from the Nation is tempting their way into the middle of this pit, and time is just ticking away. Finally they get one though. Finally they get tricked.
Where's
And
Ainge?
finally they
Where's
get Drone.
Ainge?
What? No, he kills himself. Ainge just runs away, and that's gonna be the round. They delayed so much to get into that pit, and it punished them.
Ainge, a late Viper's pit is what wins them that round. I mean, I was looking at him towards mid. He's not going for it. Then he starts running back. He realizes once he got that kill on the Stewie, he would have to pop this Viper's pit. And that's what won them that round there. Dark Ratio playing in the Viper's pit. And, you know, you see a lot of teams that are just, I feel, make careless mistakes and just run out of the Viper's pit. He sits in it and knows that's where his advantage is. And the Nation, with all the kills they got, weren't enough. And still the economy not out of the woods just yet for Dark Ratio. Not a lot of credits to work here. And this round is crucial for that.
I mean, the Nation had about 8K though in the last round. 8K, 7K. A lot of their players are down at about 2K, 3K. This is good, Dark Ratio. They need this.
Oh, punishing Will so early on. And that cuts down the entry potential. Where Will goes, so does Dark Ratio.
Wardell still holding, still has the angle. On to Trick, but Trick!
Risky
Well
peek.
done.
Risky peek from Wardell. Would have liked to see a wall come out, deny the spike plant. But he tries to go for the risky Risky second.
Waiting for util here, and it's perfect. The double shock setup. Real nicely done, but they fake it. Don't get hit by it at all. I mean, this is really the only way that you can do this, right? Without that wall. Keep baiting and all that util. Make them use it.
And there's Zexro again on this lurk, but Rossi, they know he's got a teammate just like Zexro. He's got a teammate just like him, and that's Brax. He loves to lurk, and Rossi's ready for it. And there's a lockdown here that Brax has got positioned towards mid. He can drop over towards orange in that little cubby, pop the ultimate, and a lot of advantages will come the Nation's way. Force out that Hunter's Fury. Knife will clear the site, but Dark Ratio control the site for now, and in comes a lockdown from Brax.
I mean, do they even need to use it? Yes, they do. They want these last two. Ainge and Drone needing to back up into yellow. But these are decent positions if they want to fight Stewie and Tig. There goes the first swing.
Oh, Stewie.
Come on, that's too easy. Tig and Stewie, get them both. A 5th round for the Nation, and Dark Ratio, the one gap that they had to get back into this game, the Nation just extends it again. Their economy is safe. 4 people survive.
And you're kind of seeing the effects that happen when Will goes down really early in the round. Like, when he went down, it felt like there was no direction from Dark Ratio. How reliant they've been on this guy, Will. He's a top 4 in the first kill department in this event amongst the top teams. And so to have someone like him go down very early on, you lose all direction. That's what happened to Dark Ratio there. And the Nation exploiting that, taking full advantage of it. And Dark Ratio on an Ecos, we have a little bit of a tech pause coming through. God, what is it with these tech pauses today, man? I love them.
Vibes are good. The vibes are good. I mean, we're going through today a lot more efficiently than yesterday. So, I mean, honestly, a little bit more time for us to chill out, for us to be here on broadcast, and for us to re-emphasize the fact that this game, we thought that it would be closer. Not gonna lie. And this icebox is just not giving us, giving it to us.
Bro, it's just started. Bro, it's just started. Guys, don't listen to Upmine. It's literally just started.
I'm trying.
Don't worry. The game has just begun. Listen. The game has just begun. I still have hopes. Will is getting shut down, but you know, he's 100 thieves. Will. He's what is this contradictor? I just said he's getting shut. He's feeling good. No,
but
he's
he was
getting shut down.
The first few rounds, he was really
This
good.
is for now about adaptation, and I think obviously it's online. They're gonna take this time to just settle their nerves and like just look at each other through their virtual cameras. They're looking at each other in the tech pause and thinking, what do we do here? I think a lot of it is gonna have to be to setting Will up a little bit more openly, because what we've seen, the way that Will likes to entry, especially in the games prior, is that he'll do a lot of just solo swinging off a blast pack. He'll just blast pack in and try and take no real initiation. I think one of the key things is gonna have Trick set him up and try and get him into spaces with that recon bull and with that dart and with that drone and kind of clear out certain angles that Will doesn't have to worry about. Because in these last couple rounds, Brax has had his number, Stewie's had his number when he's trying to entry into A, so it's a little bit worrisome, I think, coming out for Will, and so it's a question of how do you set this guy up for these major entries.
Yeah, I think they kind of got the right idea, though, near the last few rounds where they were just delaying time. They would fully get control of site, and they would just delay to take in all of this util and to get further deeper into site, to get potentially some 1v1s of their own, or to just get some flashes through a wall and to get a peek in, right? But even then, Dark Ratio, they need the guns. They need an opportunity for it. We're not going to see anything like that in this round as we're back.
Dart is well going to be broken. Ratio plus Nodi just setting up early. Defaults here towards mid. They break the dart, and they're going to work their way back up. Again, that presence of that poison orb is pretty key to this Dark Ratio defense, in the sense that it creates, again, a lot of uncertainty on this map as to where they could be, if they're rotating through it or not. And so we're yet to see the Nation adapt, like put a player down towards tube. And eventually, I think they're going to have to realize, and Dark Ratio will be able to take advantage of this mid control that they're able to get, and Nation will have to kind of adjust. And so,
I mean, they have the adjustment. They have the turret back in the kitchen. They can maintain one in the back of B. They maintain just 2 in the back of B. I mean, the default positions that the Nation were playing earlier were pretty good. They're just trying to tighten up a bit for the fact that Dark Ratio can put out a big rush here with the pistols.
Yeah, feeling kind of pressure towards mid, or apologies, towards B, and banking on Wardell's operator. There's a Hunter's Fury to play with here for Dark Ratio. If they can find kills, and well, we're already seeing one man go hunting. Will up top in the tube. But up against the rifle, Brax got it up. This is a great hold. Nice util coming out of Brax for 3 as well. 6-2 for the Nation. very, very clean. And Dark Ratio, they will get the rifles back, and they're working with a couple of ultimates. Now that Will has a showstopper, we'll see how they plan to set him up for these entries.
I don't think there's too much to deal with on the other side, but if they want to use it, it's a big lockdown for one side of the map entirely. They do have a Viper's Pit ready and raring to go.
And it looks like Tig is going to use it here as well. A knife, I think, is going to take contact towards the top of, or at least Rossi will watch top belt, and Tig on this rope will throw the Viper's Pit here. And that will eliminate a lot of pressure as this showstopper tries to clear him out. But Will's been caught. That is a great knife from Will. Or apologies, Rossi.
Will is in, still suppressed, can't use the showstopper, but still able to get 2 kills. Will, you madman! Almost able to get a third through the wall, but instead Stewie gets one and runs.
An instant counterback. The knife to cut down the showstopper, but Will still finds a double. And Wardell, up top with the operator, has the sights of one, but misses the opportunity. That's still a 3-on-4, and he has the heal. And Nation trying to make this retake work. The post-plant success is just so good from Ratio, but cracks a big kill.
And the trade is there too. Stewie around the corner. Drone had no idea. This is a huge chance now. Depends on the utility now. The shock darts and the snake bites. Trick, it looks like he's ready for the lineup. The wallet is up, but it's definitely still gonna hit. Stewie on top, looking for damage. But Ainge in the middle, 43 HP, and what a shot from Wardell. But Trick still has the angle. Close near the end, but Dark Ratio just had the setup to secure the spike.
And Wardell, again, trying with that wall to give them the defense, and it's close. I don't think if Ainge jumps up there, they win that round. He kind of pulls Stewie away and forces Wardell out into the open, and then, so Wardell has to back up where he can take an actual opping angle. And that's what seals the deal with Ainge hopping on top. Quick decision making and playing close, predicting the wall to be there. But you see the mind games between both these teams, not just the wall. A knife to cut down the showstopper, and instantly, Will is still in that site.
Not out of the woods. It's a reset after this round for Dark Ratio.
Yeah, again, losing so many players. 4 on that round, so.
I cannot use that.
Look at this, all 5 here on the A side, and it's going to be a null command exec. 3 players in the back here at A, though. It could be big. Wardell once again stepping up to the plate with the op. Able to get the one. They can still revive him, though. But here's Rossi. They have no idea about him, but they still spot him out, and the revive goes in. The 5v4 flips.
And you can see Rossi wanted to get that frag there. Ainge not letting him have it.
No angle.
The null command down. There's a kill there for Tig. As Drone is caught in the open. No one there to help him. He jumps even with the wall down. And Tig swinging through these nades. Not afraid to take these fights. As all these players with Dark Ratio begin to back up.
Yeah, but there's so much utility. You have the Raise Nade, you have the Snake Bites, you have the Shock Darts, the Nano Swarms. Surely they have something at all times to shut this down. Trick, however, going in, able to take down 2. Big kills from Trick. Trick rolling around, clearing up the site, not using any of that utility. Just Mouse 1 able to do it. Dark Ratio in a good prime position to put themselves back into a half where they were down Sully 6-2.
Yeah, and Ainge in that round, I think coming up massive once more. There to prevent Rossi from getting the trade. They read the fact that Will's getting the reds. As soon as Drone comes up, someone is going to try and punish. He's just out in the open, and Ainge winning that fight, putting them in a 5-on-4 where they can so easily convert. And it's Dark Ratio, who still
Op v op.
Have money to buy. We never. This is so interesting because this is the first time that Will has ever pulled out the attacking operator.
Is it even him?
Oh, he's such a bag. Never mind.
Yeah, no. Will in the front lines, able to clear out yellow, but nobody's there. Plant will go in, save kinda. Nades are in. Nobody's able to stop it. It's going to be a full 5v5, and the ultimates are dry. It really is just going to be a traditional retake. Here comes the first kill over towards mid. Ainge has got it.
And now they have to worry about mid. It's Zexo on the operator, like you said.
What is that peak?
And Brax flushing him out with the Nano Swarm. They're still worried about their back, but now Wardell trying to keep his team in it with this off. And look at what that ult does. It forces them all the way back into B main, but Zexo wanted a little bit more, but he will be detained here. And Dark Ratio, 3-on-3. With all these players away, Wardell has already slowed them out, and this should be it. This should be it as Wardell. Op Academy is back in session, and Wardell for a third, and that's just enough. 7-4. The Nation take one back.
That one kill
round in the half.
to get the lockdown, did everything there, but Wardell with a cleanup at the end. I mean, it was the clean 5v5. It was a red carpet into the middle of the site. Everything came down to that last moment, and you're seeing why the Nation are in this sort of position. You call them a clout team, they're far from it.
Okay, Zextra's picked up the op from the last round.
Again.
So he's going to try and kind of watch these flanks, I'd imagine. Dark Ratio. Viper's Pit online for Ainge. We've seen what great effect it had before in the one round he used it. I think that's going to be the goal, to use it. And look at this, the Nation deep down towards mid. Zextro does find one, but there's so much space taken up here by Wardell.
Ooh, the lockdown.
From Zextro on that one kill.
Poison's off.
Sense of deja vu, but again, no one actually heading into A just yet. They're letting it go down. The Nation with 3 up top. They have a whole lot of utility that they're dumping into the middle. There's no way that they can actually plant. Stewie looking for the wide swing. Will looking for everything. He has the angle for Rafters, but Tig has him instead. With the Viper's Pit open though, Dark Ratio spreading throughout the site, looking if anyone walks into the tall grass, but Tig does take advantage, does get the kill.
And Ainge has been here before, tucked in the exact same corner. Ainge has won a round for Dark Ratio alone, and now he's got to do it again. A 1-on-3, and HP is running low. Rossi's called the ultimate, and that's brought it down. Ainge just wants the vision. No spike plant to play around. So now he's got to work the kills, and there's one. Ainge snaps up towards the top. It's Rossi. He knows where he's coming from, and he's got the idea. Around this single Radiant box is what he's got to play with. And his back turn, Brax will secure an 8-4 Nation victory.
Switching sides.
I mean, you put it all in the null command there, and you want to see the 1v3 attempt. But that's just yet another round where the Nation, they just had that one piece of util. They had that one advantage to take back the round entirely. It seems like they've always had one single win condition that just drags them back into these rounds. And it works out again and again. Again, things were getting real close. We were finally seeing Dark Ratio almost reset this team. They were one round away from doing so and almost getting a 6-6. But the Nation land on their feet. This is good now. Brax is feeling himself.
And now both teams are finally, I got the stat wrong, on their better side. The Nation on the attack, 75% win rate. Apologies, 74.
Oh, there it is.
And instead, on the attacking side for Dark Ratio, it was only 64. Or apologies, on the defending side it was 64. Now on the defense, this is where they love to play. 71% win rate. So both teams playing on their favorite side of Icebox now. It starts off slow. Brax has worked his way up top in towards Tube. And this is interesting from the Nation. Because what we've seen on Icebox is they just full send from the A site. And this time around, they're trying to split up towards mid. And that's a lot of damage done onto just 2 players.
It's only going to be 1 on A, though, for that. Dark Ratio, they dedicate a lot, even a shock dart in.
Yeah, Brax on 1 HP, but they do have the Sage Shield, so at least one of them will come back to full. And I think Tig is just going to play for his snake bites instead of actually fighting on site.
It's going to be a full 5v5 again, is it? No! The lineup is too good. Barely finds a crack. It's not going to be a 5v5. The spike hasn't even gone down. 35 seconds left.
And they're already on site. Dark Ratio, all 5 players here. How does Rossi maneuver this? Body has been spotted. Will with another Dark Ratio. Wardell just gets caught out. Wall banged by 1, and that was all it took. Dark Ratio immediately flooded back into that site.
It's just the same effect that we saw in the first half. If that plant goes down, there's so much post-plant advantage. There's so much utility there to cover up the spike. And that was all that they were playing for. There was no one playing in the back of sight. Wardell was just playing to run the heck away.
Yeah, and I'm interested to see if Wardell actually had his wall and why he elected not to throw it. Had all the opportunities to get that spike down, but, I mean, single wall bang from Trick. Pops his head off. And for Dark Ratio, this defensive setup that we were kind of foreshadowing in that first half is what we're seeing here with the Viper and the KJ, both playing on this B, and 2 players that have had an exceptional start to this map, both being Ainge, who's won critical rounds twice for the Dark Ratio, and then Zexro, again, on a KJ, is boasting a .87 kill per round across 300 plus rounds. I think it's like 365 or 362. So you've got 2 extremely strong, potent players, and really, hard agents to counter on this B site, and this is where and why Dark Ratio have such a dominating defensive stat line at 71% win rate.
But again, we're seeing a different attacking play style, at least from what we saw before, purely with the fact that they have a wall, that they can more or less avoid some of that util coming in during a plant. There's a nano swarm ready. The SMGs are already crossed up. The Nation with just about 30 seconds left. They finally scaled their way all the way up towards top B main. Spray goes through the wall, but Zextra from up top might get all the frags he needs, but actually, through the wall, if I'm not mistaken, that was Stewie 2K taking down Ainge, and there's still a lot more work to do. Zextra takes down Tig. The site is isolated.
Yeah, and I'm wondering how much more farm Zextra wants to go for. He's going to nano storm and nade out that cubby, which is going to force these players into the open. Zextra
get the kill and defuse?
Yeah, and it would honestly put him right on the lockdown as well, right? He's not going to get it.
Let him defuse, let him defuse.
Thanks.
But that's perfect.
But he is going to ask for it, so that puts him 7 out of 8 onto this lockdown, and for Dark Ratio to win those first 2 to bring us now 8-6. And that's the thing with that 8-4 scoreline is all it takes is those first 2 rounds of the second half to put things into perspective, and now things are within a 2-round difference. And Team Dark Ratio, they're going to have the bonus moving forward. Zextra's coming online with this lockdown. He's coming online in general now. And we're going to see that full defensive capability of Dark Ratio.
Yeah, they're going to go full bonus too. The Nation seriously have to keep themselves careful here. I mean, any kill going back towards their way, even if they win, they're going to go into the next round with a really spotty buy. Dark Ratio, they're going to start off with the knife and the rush from Will. I'm ready.
Not a rush, just looking for early establishment control, trying to close the gap, especially with these SMGs. They're leaving Brax to spot mid, even though he has an alarm bot right there. And it's interesting because they've put 2 players down towards B, and this setup seems a little bit counterintuitive. They're keeping Brax in a position that's already being monitored. He is in close proximity to rotate. He's popped the first nanostorm to delay, but Wardell has already gone up top. And apologies, it's Zextra instead, not Brax.
Yeah, finally the wall goes up though. Tig is going to be able to take down Zextra. There's 2 in the back though, shifting into the back corner. These are good positions for Dark Ratio. What can they do with them? Wardell doesn't spot the one behind Jenny, but the recon absolutely
saw the head
does.
maybe?
Big flash. Will might swing, takes down Wardell. There's a lot more work to do. 4 players in the back for Nation.
And it's in such a good spot here though for the Nation. The wall doesn't fully cover it, but Rossi's already being spammed out. Nobody on the spike and Tig holding for these pushes. Snake bites the delay, and Whale good for another.
Is there anything to cover up the line of sight? I don't think so. They're just going in for this drive. All of them are down. The crossfire between Rossi and Brax was there, but they had the shock darts raining from the air. The Nation had all options covered.
And there's something about the post plants of the Nation. When you watch their icebox, they always go for that exact same plant. And they're always going to play the post plant in that exact same way. The wall there from Wardell to cover his body so he doesn't get spammed, but to also limit the diffuse positions that you can get if you're a defender and force them into kind of that open window of nest. And Dark Ratio tried to close the gap. They had Will getting 2, and I think maybe with a Phantom could have done a little bit more work, but now rifles in both teams' hands. A lockdown available for Dark Ratio, and Will doing similar things, getting close and aggressive, but they know he's here.
Yeah, with a flash setup too.
It's a beautiful flash.
Yeah, how does he get 2 there? That's amazing onto Brax. Brax was looking for another angle, but now over towards mid. Noise being made. Maybe just to distract from the split too. Maybe to take away 1 or 2 players from the back of A, but the Nation, they're down to 3.
Poison's off.
They're going to try to rework back in towards A. And I think the setup off that alarm bot is going to give a lot of confidence that there can't be a flank coming in towards the A site. Gives Tig something to play off, and this mid setup from Zextra is going to give a lot of kind of claustrophobic control here towards mid.
What?
And they
Why are
have
they
been able to creep onto the A site. They're going to play the 5-on-3, maintain screens control here. Dark Ratio and Drone, good to get that kill. So they have the lockdown if they want to use
30
it.
seconds left.
Yeah, I love how in the advantage they're playing purely for retake. It's so safe from Dark Ratio, and okay. Popping hits. Big damage onto Zextra. Will does end up getting the trade. Wardell now. Oh, that flash. That flash kind of shuts him down. He was so ready to funnel in all three of those players. That was possible for a quick second there from Wardell, but 3 players stay alive there for Dark Ratio. A lot more work to do for this team, though. Their economy is not out of the woods.
Yeah, and they're setting up Will perfectly here, Dark Ratio. I mean, they have an 87% 5v4 conversion rate, so setting Will up in a position like this and then to get 2 just ever increases your odds to win rounds like this. And not a lot of room there for the Nation to work with, as Will is 18 and 13 with an unbelievable start here in this second half. If he can keep up that momentum where he's confident enough to take swings and have his team set him up, it'll be a rough one here for the Nation. They are going to be working with pistols, and Rossi stepped up massively, but you cannot let Will get going.
I mean, the one thing about this setup is that there's no real unpredictability on pace. I mean, there's no duelist to run it down. All these players from the Nation, their peaks are pretty predictable. And Ainge, he's got the timing on some of these players over towards B main, but this is the first time that we finally get a one-man lurk up towards Kitchen, takes away the turret and just walks away. Good stuff.
Yeah, what a knife as well. From Drone. And an early lockdown. I'm curious to know the reasoning behind this. I think it's to keep these players off of mid. I don't exactly know the reasoning, but it's worked here to funnel them into the B site where Ainge has got the ability to kind of hold things down. The wall will give them the post plant. And a 5-on-5, still Dark Ratio with a lot of advantages, especially with that showstopper to get Will into the site instantly.
If there's ever a time for an eco, it would be now, though, Nation. What an opportunity to maybe shock Dark Ratio here. They have the spike plant, but they don't have the mid flank anymore. Well, one player backs out. And
they're going to shut down the showstopper. No showstopper here for Will. So now it comes down to this raw aim duel.
They're going to be able to use it in a little bit. They have a revive.
They've been good at ecos. They've been really good at ecos.
Here we go. It's the cross-up. Zexro is able to get 1. 3 more players left for the Nation. Make it only 1 now. The headshots now. Stewie has to line them up. Almost taking down Drone, but still had 2 more to deal with right after. The rifle's overwhelmed.
And it's big for Dark Ratio. I mean, and the Nation, if you think about it, they drew out a lockdown for free on their eco round. And Dark Ratio drew out the null command on a round that they ultimately ended up winning. So ults being traded back and forth between these two teams. With the buy coming back for the Nation, they will have the Viper's Pit to work with, but we'll see. I mean, if Will is going to do something crazy. He's done a solo ult once. I can't remember the exact map. I think it was Fracture. He solo ulted no util top arcade. So, I mean, there's a chance he just solo ults again off of a flash. We'll see, though.
He's been getting more and more aggressive, but this position, I mean, he can just hold on with the rifle. No need for the showstopper just yet. He could just pop it at any moment. This owl drone.
And that's what they're looking for. The drone is going to spot something, and he could double blast back around Belt.
If it had spotted anyone, they backed out.
Brax has an idea, though. Brax has an idea off of that drone that there could be someone in Nest.
There's no way they isolate the showstopper just for one. They're looking for a trap.
The odds of who it is. And so they're going to go the other way. They know it's Will. 100% they know it's Will. And Will in a position of S where they can't confidently flush him out. They don't want that showstopper to come in their face and bite them when they're in mid-exec. So they're going to work back here towards B with that drone off of Stewie. And see if they can make a split happen on their tube. Or even through tube where they can pop the ult in Kitchen.
And look at that rotation too. 2 players shifting back into Kitchen with the orb now down.
And they understand what the Nation want to do. They know exactly where this ult is being trying to line up.
Ainge might get exposed here. He's shifting over towards yellow. There's 2 in the back. Stewie's got him.
And now the Viper Spit. They drew them back towards mid. Dark Ratio falling for it, thinking that it's a Kitchen ult, right? And now they funnel back. Viper Spit can come online if they want to use it. Showstopper still available for Will as Zexro able to get 1 Will out the sky. A beautiful 1-for-1 trade, and it's 100% worth in that instance.
A 1v3. Drone has a flash, has everything to work with here, but still a tall task. A Hunter's Fury to deal with, but he takes down the first in terms of Wardell. Has nano force, has the KJ util in front of him. Brax not exactly playing as safe as you would expect, but Stewie has the off angle, and Stewie's not going to get the kill. It's a 1v1, and Brax gets him instead. The Nation barely surviving the 1v3 scenario.
Yeah, a really interesting setup between the two of them with Stewie and Brax. I think Brax should have been the one to take the advanced fight, but they get the round in the end. A great fake as well from the Nation. And now they've saved that Viper's Pit, gotten 4 ultimates online. Brax off for those kills is going to have the lockdown in play.
Wow.
Now let me ask this, who wins? 4 ultimates or 1 little robot ultimate? We'll see. We'll see. Dark Ratio. Still that null command to you work with here as well.
That one robot can shut down all of this, though.
Right,
Just
exactly.
depends
That's
where they go. No, but if they go B, though, they're going to run into this close setup. Will around the corner, going to be able to get one.
And this is the first time he's played on B. Will has only played on the A side, and now he switches up to B, and that's caught Dark, or apologies, the Nation off guard.
Just a little bit, though. Maybe they don't expect the KJ util here.
They get the res here, and he could pop the ultimate. Brax could if he wanted to, but he's a little bit ways away. And I think the Nation are still prodding, figuring out how many players exactly are on this site. The wall goes down, so they're going to have to wait a little bit longer for the exec.
Taking their sweet time to get back into spawn because they don't have util covering up.
Ooh, a late knife. Late knife over towards A, and they're going to wait for this orb to come up.
Not a lot of info, though. It's off angle.
A great dart, and Zexro, he knows they're back towards mid. And I think this is great calling from Dark Ratio. The knife gets nothing. And expecting a mid rotate.
Ooh.
They rotate one back. Wow, this is great calling from both sides.
What? They're going to lock it down, but they're going to allow, with the lockdown, players to come up kitchen. Surely they might expect one, but do they expect 3 people? Ooh, they're jumping from Zexro, catches all 3 of them, and he's able to walk away. 9 HP, and he's still able to get a kill out of it. Make it a second! Zexro, how does he get anything out of that? The Scavenger, 1v5. Brex can barely do anything. Spike is all the way away. A 9th all pivotal round for Dark Ratio, on top of an incredible peak from Zexro.
Yeah, that is just, like, whoever the minds are on both these teams, they're locked in this crazy duel. Because the knife catches nothing, you can instantly see that the Nation want to fake a B hit and pull over towards A. But you can see Dark Ratio, they're so aware of the fact that the knife caught nothing in the orb going up towards mid, and the fact that the dart got broken, they know it's going to be an A hit, or apologies, a B hit. And then the Nation just work right back in towards south. There's just so many little things going on between these teams. Shows the experience of these rosters. And at 10-9, it's an eco here for the Nation. And once more, they're going to approach this A site where Will is not here. He switched up again and played the B site for the 2nd time in this half.
Yeah.
It's the same setup from the last round, too. It does look like they would just be holding on to the positions that they were pushing. Maintaining it for now, but here comes the push back over towards A with the lockdown, too, to push these players back into spawn, but it's just going to push these players into sight! The spike is planted, though. They have to leave somehow. Zexro's too close, looking for frags. The defuse is coming in, but he's...
A sacrifice. They've gone already for a snake bite. I think it's already landed. Nanostorm as well. Is it enough? No, it's not! So late! And it wins Dark Ratio the round. The plan was there from the Nation to get the spike down in a very similar spot to that top 2 area, and they'll just dump util on it. But I think Tig realized, and you can see him standing in the lockdown as he gets detained. And he realized at the last second, I need to get this util out, but he wasn't quick enough. 10-10, rifles back in the hands of both, and still we've been sitting on this Viper's Pit from Tig and this Hunter's Fury from Stewie.
It'll be the first time in a long time where we see this Nation team go all the way down to an eco at a pivotal moment. And it would be the first time that we see Dark Ratio in a lead. Push all the way up in mid. Something needs to change here for Dark Ratio, and this is it. It's the 1v1 Drone and Rossi, but Rossi not able to get anything.
They've broken that turret really early, and I think that's big, especially with like 20 seconds into this round.
Oh, they catch both.
That'll keep some Nation players cautious if anyone's going to push down towards mid. They see the pressure, they feel the pressure, and what they're walking into is a Hunter's Fury AKJ setup. The knife is going to clear nothing towards mid, so that means that with this drone as well, he can just pop this Hunter's Fury directly from this midpoint.
I mean,
the Nation, they have a Viper's Pit to try and get onto it. But this might be able to close it down, to be honest. I mean, you say delay, but Zexro this is the first time he's ever played here. And while the util does go down, never mind.
Doesn't matter. The knife comes in. Zextro still in the back. It just has to depend on his aim. Here comes the Hunter's Fury trying to cover him up, but he could try to fight for the Viper's Pit, but Tig doesn't care. Tig actually goes all the way back in, and he's safe. The player from Heaven can't trade. Ooh, Drone trying to get an angle onto Wardell, but it actually
Great
sacrifices himself for the trade. This is good now. Tig can control the rest of A. His two teammates playing with util.
And this is what they do. This is the
Wait,
post
no
that I'm talking
nanostorms,
about. The top site. Tig just gonna delay. I think they have double shock here at the very least. And there's one, I think there's one nanostorm. Either that or it's a Viper's Pit or a Viper's Orb. Stewie watching up top. It is a nanostorm.
No.
It's gonna buy even more time. One shock left. Will on the peak. Who's gonna go for the defuse? A second nanostorm now, and even a shock dart. It should be enough if they spot just enough time. And everyone goes down here in Dark Ratio. Everybody goes down in the server. But the Nation have found 11. Now we'll look at the economy, which I think is the bigger question.
Oh, so scrappy, but Dark Ratio, they have enough for the rest of the game, essentially.
Oh, and Nation barely do.
Yeah, Dark Ratio, they lose this round, they'll be fine in the next. Not the Nation, though. They lose this round, they give Dark Ratio, I mean, potential for overtime, but they give him a 12th, essentially.
Yeah, and Will is back on his showstopper. And he's at 25 kills. He's almost broken the kill max if he gets 30 here.
Look at the ulti build for Nation,
so
too.
much more Valorant to play with, yeah. Ulti build for Nation and Will. I think this will be his third showstopper of the half.
It'll be good. Will, like kind of efficient. He's just wanted a little bit more of a mosh pit to actually launch it, and of course not get knifed while doing it. But the Nation, they might just get full spotted off of this one owl drone, but not really.
I think it might have caught them. It just went over the pipe, so they might have actually seen them.
Might have spotted him, but I think they might have just hid behind the wall. We'll see. Drone looking for pixels. The rotation does come in terms of just one of these players, in terms of the KJ, but they're rethinking it.
Take has walked all the way up towards elbow.
To
Slow
reposition.
orb, and then an aid to clear out this back side. They've cleared out default box, and Tig is going to continue to hold. They have no wall here, so they need to be cautious of this swing. And a lockdown. That is such a deep lockdown as well. That's nowhere near the pipe, so this is given a lot of space. The nade doesn't break it anymore. It needs 200 damage and no shock. It does actually break it. There might have been a shock there as well.
Well done, but the plane is still going in behind the wall. The Nation for now are fine.
Ooh,
Wardell has to dance a lot here. He's stuck. Everyone else is safe, though, backing up towards their spawn.
And they've changed up the plant position. Just off those nanoswords.
He could get a revive.
4-on-4. Dark Ratio here with a Viper's Pit to work with as well. If they can get on a site, they force the spike in a little bit more of an awkward position and a little bit easier to play if you are on the side of Dark Ratio. But these shock darts might just do the trick as Brax still taking the peak. Still a flank in as well from Tig. Someone needs to fight, and that's all she wrote. Trick does what he can, but it's 12-10 for the Nation.
Match point.
Dark Ratio, that wasn't everything. They still have ultis. They still have one building. They still have rifles. The next two rounds, heavily pivotal for Dark Ratio. Reminder, the next map that we're watching, Dark Ratio hasn't played in over 4 months. If there's ever a map that they need to win to at least make this BO3 possible, it's this one.
And Miniker's going to call the timeout. That's the Nation coach. I think what he's trying to work out is how these ultimates would come into play from Dark Ratio, especially that Will ultimate. If you ever needed a play, I think now is the time. And a Viper's Pit as well to work with. Where does that get popped? Things are going through this Nation team's mind. Miniker's having a word with Tig, with Stewie, two of the bigger voices on this team. And Ratio, with these two ultimates, you can pop the Viper's Pit on A, pop it towards B main, and have Will look to punish off of a flash, off of a knife, off of a recon bolt like they've been doing over towards A pipes. A lot of factors are running through this team's mind. And I think right now, despite being at match point with the lesser guns at this point in time, it's up to the Nation to respond, which is ironic because again, they're playing on match point. They have the advantage here with the rounds.
I don't know how you win 2 rounds in a row and this is the buy you get. The Nation still have to put in so much work for them to close this one out. And over towards B, it's still going to be difficult. They have a nade alongside the nanoswarms to deal against.
And I think they're trying to get Rossi onto his ultimate here. This is the orb that's a little bit easier to take. And Rossi should be able to get onto this. And with Will here as well, it's up to Will to quickly pop this. If Rossi gets the ult out first, then that's one ultimate out of the mix.
No, it's out. Showstopper can't do anything here. No command comes out.
Drone!
Definitely come in. How does Drone get two there through the wall? Zextro there to clean up. Stewie through the wall doing the same. But now it's only down to one. Zextro doing his job. Brax, 1v4. We're going to close it out in a miracle fashion, but it's just not going to happen. Dark Ratio finally with a clinical stop.
And the worst part is, they've got the lockdown back online, and they still have Will with his showstopper. Zextro at 23 kills, stepping up massively. Has got a kill per round in this first map, and Will has got just above that. And for the Nation, we talked about the big hitters. Brax fell off last series, and their qualification game, Wardell as well. Well, Brax has stepped up, and so has Tig, but where has Wardell been? Quiet on the Sage, not able to have the same impact that he does on Raze and Jet. And they're playing for OT. They have such a weak buy, the Nation. And Trick, this is different. We've never seen him be the one to get aggressive. And he's all the way down. Brax could have the timing, but he gets spotted instead. And with this 4v5 conversion rate that the Nation have and the 5v4 that Dark Ratio have, we could be looking at OT here.
So slow, though. The Nation, they have to find some sort of calculated way to not only get that rifle, which they actually got.
And they're trying to maintain here screens control for Dark Ratio. Nation know that a lockdown is more than likely going to come in. Same with the showstopper for the retake. And all right, you can already see Will's in a position to do so. Do they spam this wall? Oh my gosh, does that hit? Yes, it does!
He actually kills him! Here comes Tig swinging through. Drone takes him down. Great response for Dark Ratio, but they still go down through these smokes. Will in the back line looking for a contact, but Stewie finds him first. This one's going all the way back for the Nation with a lockdown. It equalizes things a little bit. It might push the Nation.
Does the nade break it?
To go back, the nade might, but even then, they still have the angle. 5 seconds, 4 seconds, they got the plant down. Wardell has to run! And it's Dark Ratio completing the comeback. 12-12. They push it to overtime.
Yeah, the nade, it's not enough. It's 200 HP now, and I thought they were going to go for a wallbang on it as well, or at least try and pressure that player over towards screens, but instead, this kind of... That's an insane rocket from Will. I mean, I think he was posted up already to use that showstopper. But to do it over the wall as well is crazy. Overtime here between the Nation and Dark Ratio. On the map pick of Dark Ratio, Will is at 27 kills. Over a 1.0 kill per round. And Zextro not too far behind him. These two players have stepped up massively in the later parts of this half. That is 5 successful retakes in a row from Dark, or not in a row, in that half from Dark Ratio.
Now they're back on the attack. Are they gonna get the same sort of impact from Will? And of course, are we gonna get the same for the KJ? We'll see. Will actually does get a decent angle early on, but no one's over towards Canteen. No one's in pipes. What is this over towards mid? Ange, alongside his orb.
No way. Surely not.
And it almost works out. It does get the one kill, but the damage is done. A 3v3 now. Dark Ratio, they're not out of the woods.
Knife doesn't catch anybody. Oh, it does. It catches Zextro just at the last second, so Swarms won't be out just yet. A little bit late. Shock Dart doesn't catch anybody. Drone. Forced and backed away. They will drop these nanostorms now, and this is what they're going to play off of. Will.
Did they break it?
Blast back to swing, Stewie and Rossi. I think they broke them both. No, both nanostorms get popped extremely early.
Doesn't delay anything. No one was going for it. Stewie does go down, however. Spray transfer, Rossi! Almost good, but it's unbelievable that they actually get the crossfire there. Zextro focusing on one and somehow gets the second. Dark Ratio, one away.
And an extremely good chance to close it out now. And when they're doing crazy stuff like that for the last 2 rounds where Trick walks down A main, he finds a frag on a Brax, and then Ange walks all the way up mid with no util. You have to wonder, if you're the Nation, what are they going to pull out this time around? And it's this is a complete setup switch. The 3 A players here on B. And Will is already going to get deep into towards B main. That's instant control, and Stewie's already taken a hit.
Yeah, Will putting on the pressure. What was that peek from above? Almost able to get one. The info is there. Tig is just doing everything in his power to take away this turret, but it might be the swing, and indeed it is. Zextro punishes again.
Wins that fight with the Phantom. Just so wide swinging him, or quick jiggling him. And now Trick has spotted another player towards. They know how far back these players are. And now you're playing into the hands of Dark Ratio. The turret has been broken, so Brax has a little bit of a timing here to slip through tube if he's smart about it. But it's a re-hit back in towards B, and it will be up to Brax on this lurk. Him versus Zextro. It's gone back and forth with these lurks, and we'll see who can save their team. Brax still posted up towards mid. He's the focus here and see what he can do in this position. But the rest of the nation are already here on B. And it's just
a tough position for the Sova to have a lot of impact. Should see the nade out from Will, but Will just wants to frag out. 30. Sova's coming back, though. No longer watching mid, but it doesn't even matter. Brax isn't even there. Finally, the plant coming in. Trick gonna be able to spot one behind.
What?
Let's Rossi go!
Rossi?
Rossi!
And that spot an advantage. Time advantage as well. Will's out of the mix. It's still Zextro. Again, a top performer so far in this server as Wardell. He will take the first fight. Wall is up, now been broken. He has 2 slows to try and keep them off of him.
Flashbang.
Oh, Drone's just there for the info, but this is a swing for Wardell. That just delays even more time. Slow Orb in front of the wall. They still have to make their way through. Nobody is in front of yellow just yet. But Zextro clearing it all on his own, looking for the ace. No Stewie, no in the 1v3. Drone going for the defuse. The lineup not there.
Defenders win.
And Dark Ratio off of the youngster Zextro will take map number 1. Stewie, there was a dink there as well. How close does that get? In map number 1 of both of our series, we've had overtimes. But this was the better of the two. Back and forth this game went a mind game between these two. And we saw a masterclass coming out from Will and Zextro. 2 of the highlight players between both of these teams, and they're on the same team. Both having above 1.0 kill per round. I mean, that is an insane performance from them both. And it pulls them over the edge at 14-12.
It's just the amount of impact that Zextro was able to get on the attacking side of all sides. Shifting around on his own, lurking around on his own. And he makes all the impact when he's just in the middle of the mosh pit with all of his friends, right? But when he's on the defensive side, a lot of good picks out from that mid side, but it doesn't even matter. We saw a masterclass near the end there from Dark Ratio, but the nation had that. We only saw Dark Ratio in the lead twice in that game, at the very beginning and at the very end.
Yeah, I mean, back and forth between these two teams. We're heading out to our second map of Vine, where a lot of questions for Dark Ratio. It's a matter of they haven't played it yet because they're bad at it, or they just haven't played it because they haven't revealed their cards just yet. There's so much more Valorant to be played here. And map number 2 is going to be a banger. So grab your popcorn from Sheets, stay in the moment for the mid game, and have the popcorn delivered to you with Sheets delivery. We'll see you guys after this break with map number 2 on Vine between the Nation and Dark Ratio.
Yo, check it out. Want to know if the price of those Wave Runners is too good to be true? Or if I Wear My Kicks 49 is truly selling dead stocks? Or if that Jordan 1 Royal Box is original? eBay checks. See that little blue check mark? Behind it is a team of independent authenticators who check. And we mean everything. Every tongue, check. Every toe box, check. Every corner of every box, check, 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 check. Every logo, every label, every lace loop. Yeah, it's checked. The luster of the leather, the topography on the tags, to the straightness of the stitching on the sole. Everything you can see, and even some things you can't.
Really?
Then they tag them, log them in the system, box them up, and ship them out, with no cost for the buyer or seller. eBay checks, so the moment you open that box is as real gets.
Finally, you can stay in control of your thumbsticks. Natural evolution gave the gecko its amazingly strong grip. Our multi-patented SetX technology duplicates the microstructured fibers on a gecko's foot for a revolutionary new way to get a grip on game controller thumbsticks. Like a gecko's foot, the thousands of microstructures on each SetX anti-slip thumbstick grip provide high friction to the skin surface for a secure, comfortable grip, even when sweaty, giving you a competitive advantage. Stay in control with the secure and comfortable grip of SetX thumbstick grips. Inspired by nature, perfected by science.
Is going to be great. I'm Sully, joining you with Upmind for Dark Ratio versus the Nation, a qualifying game for challengers, and what a banger of a first map, 14-12. So many players stepping up, most notably Zexro from the side of Dark Ratio. The kid is good, but he's never been that good to the point where he overfrags Will or is on par with Will. And he had an over 1.0 kill per round, and same thing with Will. So two of the highlight players coming out of Dark Ratio, they're playing lights out, and I think no doubt about it, they're continuing that form in map number 2.
Yeah, we had some doubts, right? We had, first of all, this was the test for Will.
Right.
Will needs to get back to the upper echelon. This team, I mean, he is finally a leader for his squad. Over on 100 Thieves, he has a lot of very talented players, but these players, they're still trying to prove themselves. Will needed to perform, and he absolutely did. But going into the next map, we have some other expectations that we need to set. First of all, we had one player at the very bottom that we just didn't expect whatsoever.
Yeah.
Wardell sitting at, which was an okay 14 frags, but just didn't have the impact that he needed on the defensive side.
Yeah, and I think for a team like the Nation and how far they've come and the dedication that they've put, Wardell needs to step up a bind, and I think it's one of his better maps. I think in general, his Sage is a lot worse than his Raze and Jet play. So we're going into map number 2, and for the Nation, again, it would be such a disappointment for them to not make it, and I want to talk and highlight something that I feel like a lot of people don't give enough credit to this team for, and that's going to be Stewie 2K, and we can pull up his stats here in a second. he has played exceptionally well for someone that is playing in his first professional event and has dedicated so much time to getting this team together. We're talking about his hour stream purely because in the last 2 months, he's only streamed 70 hours. And that's a crazy number to put up because he is a content creator, but he's put himself down to the grind, has dropped hours on streaming. And like, I think he had like 60 leading up to this event, and he streamed like 10 hours here and there after matches. So this is a guy that with his team has put their head down and grinded. They've put this core together, and now they're on the brink of elimination. Let me remind you, both of these teams are two teams that I think you look at them, and it's like they have to qualify. And you cannot put either of them up and say they're going to qualify in the next bracket, because next week it's a 256 team gauntlet for only 2 spots.
Well, absolutely. It's purely because, right, earlier on in this tournament, we saw Dark Ratio. Yeah, they dropped to the Nation specifically, and they're back to this round. But they still ended up dropping in the second round of top 32. There are a lot of other teams on the same caliber as the Nation in exactly that round that they could have faced. I mean, the Nation also lost in the upper bracket too, for good reason. But still, I mean, you just don't want to go through that gauntlet whatsoever. It's still very much an opportunity for what is Stewie to pop up, for what is Brax to continue to pop off. But again, this map isn't actually going to allow those two specifically to go off. It's actually going to be down to both Rossi and Wardell. I am looking forward to actually seeing some explosive action from Wardell after seeing him on a leash, of course, on Sage.
Yeah, I think that Stewie will still have similar impact in the sense that, I mean, it's a pretty common map for like Sovas and Fades to play. But yeah, 100% right. We're looking at Wardell to really step up. And especially on this map in particular, where I think that the tactical prowess for the side of the Nation is kind of refined to a degree, where they're so good at layering utility on their defensive side, where I think that truly they do shine. We don't have compositional notes coming out for the side of Dark Ratio, but they're running the exact same composition. But I think that what we've seen from the Nation in terms of their bind play and the way they've been able to layer utility, it's going to be a scary prospect in the sense that they don't know exactly how Dark Ratio are going to play. And the fact is that their layer of utility on this offensive side, where they won't use a flash until like 20 seconds into the round. They'll rely on their ego peaks and their ability to frag to get that information. It's the fact that Will can be on you within seconds. His double blast back in towards showers, up towards long, can cause a lot of mayhem, I feel like, for this Nation side.
I mean, it's almost literally the same thing for the other side. But, of course, we have some video. We have at least some VODs, and it's been perfect so far. A 2-0 for this tournament, or in this tournament, on Bind. And the last one, I mean, it was pretty dang good. It was against the Silk Road, a team that we just saw, and it was an absolute stomping on the defensive side, 9-3. Can they repeat it? I mean, people are hyped.
Yes, your boy Q. Yo boy Q. Dark Ratio comeback on map number 1. But here in the pistol round, Dark Ratio, again, I mean, this is exactly what I'm talking about. Fast play already from Will, straight in towards showers off of a flash, and that will force him out of the angle. Tig is going to have to compete with that over and over in this map in a position that he's used to dominating.
Yeah, the rotation's going to take real long here, but there is one in the back. You do have Tig waiting up for that cross, but some way, somehow, that is Drone getting that angle on the Brax. Easy plant. The smokes will dissipate very soon, but this flank, it's watched up by one person.
Ainge is already waiting for it, so Stewie's going to have to clear, and it's a matter of timing. As Ainge spots one, sees an nade, maybe? No, it doesn't actually catch him.
Oh, that wall! That wall actually helps them out instead! Stewie is just going up and actually taking down Drone. Will, he just might burst through the smoke, though. Zexro does the same, and Will waiting for his opportunity. So is Wardell, and Wardell doesn't win. Stewie has to come off of the defuse. 2 players now remaining for the Nation, and both of them are incredibly low, and both of them are down. Dark Ratio hold on, but what an explosive start to the round.
We're going to see this constant battle, I imagine, for showers between Tig and Will. A double blast back to start, and all the players that we saw in that last map still continuing to form straight into this pistol round. Will getting lights out over towards showers, getting aggressive, double blast back, and he's got confidence. Zexro as well to be able to take that risky jump peek in towards U-Haul. I think we're going to see Dark Ratio kind of play this very similar style where you get Will in positions off of Trick, who I think did a phenomenal job last map in setting Will up for a lot of the 1v1 duels that he was taking on his double blast back.
If there's ever a map to see those types of setups, it's going to be this one, but as they head into the middle of A. Nation are backed completely out. Dark Ratio are actually going to take back site control.
John Will doing more or less the same and getting in your face. This time just a couple blast back, but should be good for a little bit of a farm here. With Dark Ratio kind of sweeping up this round, it's small, little bits of ults being built there. It's a 2-0 start for Dark Ratio on this attacking side. Keep in mind, this defensive side has always looked really good for the Nation, and you'll see kind of as this game progresses, I think they're going to have to adapt their defensive setups in the sense that, like I was saying earlier, they were really good at laying their utility. Like, Rossi will never send a guiding light out towards long, and instead will just jiggle peek it. And then when he needs to, in like 40 seconds in the round, he'll send one flash, and that confirms all the positions of everyone on Dark Ratio. So I imagine they're going to have to adapt in some way, and they already kind of have. They've switched this setup to this new shower setup where instead they'll toss a boom bot and have Stewie kind of play with a nade combo here in showers.
And as that happens, I mean, we're not getting the slow scale up that you would want the information for. Dark Ratio are already up into U-Haul, and at the same time using a whole lot of utility to come out of hookah.
Yeah, and Will just being here is going to cause so many issues in U-Haul. Because now they can't rotate confidently. They know Will always be on their tail. And the possibility is they can hit back in towards the A side. They haven't cleared U-Haul, and I don't think the Nation are really willing to clear U-Haul right now.
Well, who knows? It's just the element of surprise because of that wall. And Will does actually utilize the Stinger to its full advantage. It doesn't take down Tig. But that was the one. Ainge was looking for advantage in the middle of A, looking for that position again in U-Haul. But out comes finally the take into hookah. It's going to be Brax. It's going to be Rossi. The crossfire works out for 2, but Zexro could pick up a rifle, could still somehow take this one back, but it's not going to happen. The Nation do capitalize.
And for their first round to be picked up, they keep 3 rifles alive, so they will be able to full buy back, and I think we're going to see a couple rifles being dropped, specifically from Brax, yeah. And it will be Dark Ratio who get the rifles out. I mean, you can just already tell what kind of nuisance Will is going to be. The fact that he's able to get one there and just sit there. He understands his position and the impact that he has. The wall this time around is going to go all the way deep in towards spawn, so we might see, again, similar play from Will where he wants to get aggressive in towards showers, and that's where they want to fight. And we already have both the initiators and raises looking to battle here. The nade combo as well, if they hear Will come up.
Hearing footsteps, they finally hear the boom bot. It's gonna be a little dump, but it's just a delay a bit, if anything. But look at this reposition. All 5 going back into short.
Tig is going to sit in this smoke. That's a lovely... It's interesting because you typically see that defender smoke being an attacker smoke, but Tig, he's going to play around it. Stewie gets traded through it. Right. Tig is always, from what I've seen, been incredibly good in these smoke positions. He loves to just sit in them and try and spam you down. And with that smoke being his, Dark Ratio have to be cautious with clearing it.
Tig is trying to run in, but the Prowler does snag him. Does have to back up. But again, all of this util is gone. They can't actually plant safely here. They see Wardell. That pressure is going to be there the entire time.
There's a flank coming in as well. Tig not too far off, and no one is looking that way. Wardell has drawn attention. They're looking to fight showers instead. Tig is ready to pounce in these players. 35 seconds. Spike not down, but there it goes. And not in the way you want for Dark Ratio.
Yeah, kills now going down. Tig taking down Trick. Will confused. Still knows that Wardell could be in showers, but it just doesn't matter. One more play remaining, and it's Ainge going down. A flawless round for what was Dark Ratio playing with the Nation a bit. Almost.
I think it's the other way around, to be honest. The Nation playing with Dark Ratio. That smoke from Tig, not allowing Dark Ratio to swing through that. Here's the thing, is that the smoke setup that Dark Ratio have is to allow them to control that bottom half of the A site towards that attacker side, right? To get U-Haul, to get showers, to get in front of Tetris, to get in front of Shroud or Tower. But the way that Tig drops that smoke, they don't have confidence to swing through that. And Tig could be in there with a Judge, he could be there with anything. And the Nation effectively nullifying that kind of play from Dark Ratio. Early adjustments being made from both of these sides.
Oh, okay, Brax getting overwhelmed, but Rossi could definitely get a little bit more because he still has Wardell watching over towards long. Has to wait for the actual peak from the Brimstone, and the rotation has come in relatively quickly. Here's Wardell, though. What a peak from Will. Still gonna leave this in a 2v2. Did get the help from the Brimstone as they clear out hookah. But the redirect happens, they're going A.
They didn't get rifles, though, here. And I think that's probably the silver lining if you're the Nation on this rotate, because I think maybe a little bit of preemptive rotate coming out from the Nation and Tig.
Still have a showstopper to secure sight, maybe. Who knows?
And they're both gonna tuck in towards U-Haul. This is where, yeah, that showstopper can be really effective because one blast back on top of the little tower, and you can just send a showstopper straight into their face.
Will,
And Will, this might be where you want to use it.
Whoa, he's actually using the showstopper straight up. It's just the
10
danger,
bullets.
right? There's no way Stewie wants to peek into it. Will can pop on top of the wall, waiting for Stewie. Just blast it right into the middle of sight. But again, Stewie has nothing to cover up this sight. Just has to go in for this dry.
One bullet.
And Will is just playing this out perfectly, playing with his heart, playing with the timing. And the Stinger is going to be able to do it.
And I think this round, it's a slight over-rotate from Tig. Takes the TP instead of playing the one on each site. I mean, the Nation invested a lot of ultimates in that as well. I think most important, that orbital strike getting used to flush it out. And the Nation getting caught in rotation. That fight out towards long, Wardell needed to win that fight. I mean, there's no question about it. That's not a fight you can lose. Even if Will is wide swinging with a blast pick, you have to get that kill. And we came into this second map with saying Wardell needs to be the big player. Will is going to go for another blast pack play, and this is very similar to the pistol. Tig not going to be able to slow down or slow down Will, but he will get the kill, and that's a big one.
There goes the orbital strike to try to pull Tig. But Tig takes down Trick entirely, and there was no one else there. The back of A completely covered, and not only that,
Tig.
the cabbages are coming out, and Tig gets another one. Two more players remaining for Dark Ratio without stepping into a site.
Yeah. Tig is trying to just stamp his part of the map. And he's been able to find 3 over towards Showers on kind of a really sloppy buy from the Nation as well. Only 2 rifles, I think, that came into this round. Now with Drone and Ainge to try and clutch this one out. 2-on-5, it's, I would say at this point impossible, because Wardell has already gone for a very fast flank. They know this hit is going to come in towards the A site. Tig. It's a jiggle. It's shut down, but this is Dark Ratio. Trading blows with the Nation. At 3-3, we'll be tied up here in a second. Wardell should be able to get this back here in a second too. Yeah, he does. And Tig, a huge stamp over towards Showers to find those 3. And the orbital strike, I think, was there to try and catch Tig as he was being forced out of Showers, but I think Zextro maybe got the timing a little bit wrong. Yeah, it comes in like half a second after he dies, and I'm not sure what the plan is there to force a 1v1 again between Tig and Trick, but that'll reset them at the very end. Dark Ratio with pistols.
There.
Dark Ratio, they might just respect wherever Tig might be, but they head
And a
into
nade
Showers
combo
this time.
here. Nade combo very early on. If Will, or apologies, Wardell sees contact, and yeah, Stewie, they're going to try and not nade combo that right side where they saw the contact be made, but doesn't actually get anything. They avoid the early nade util. Trick has gotten up in towards Showers, but they've already rotated 4, and Wardell already taking one out.
Oh, Wardell with a bulldog kill too, and almost catches Zextro. Slick from Wardell. It's Zextro. Don't really know if he made noise, but it just doesn't matter. The Trailblazer gets him.
Down A.
Just dominating again. The Nation, these are the types of rounds that we expect to see from them clean. 4 players survive, the economy back in their favor. It should hold on strong for really the rest of the half, but Dark Ratio, this is where the half can fall out of their hands.
And I'm starting to like this from the Nation, because you talk about Dark Ratio in this half falling out of their hands. It's these adjustments that Nation are making, and those are one of them. That nade and seize combo, they don't typically use util that early in rounds. And to see Stewie and Wardell try and put pressure to shut them down, it's a good sign. They're going to move Wardell now towards his B side, where he will have the operator. Switching up this default, predicting this kind of play, and in a great position at that. Gets blinded, but can still take the peek.
Oh, Trick. And not peeking with the Seekers, but Wardell
held
does
that.
re-peek after the guiding lights. Super close opportunity, and again, the Trailblazer's not going to be able to get him. He could still maintain that angle. Dark Ratio, they might need some help from their Viper.
Yeah, I think that's an area that you want to hold the peak with Wardell, but this is the util kind of delay I'm talking about. They still have a dog to clear long, but this rotate needs to come quick. I mean, the flash needs to come out. They need to rotate now. Tig and Stewie alone on this site, spotted, but he still gets one just over the APC. And the
orbital
ult
strike
here as
is
well for
ready the
Tig.
plant.
Oh,
they
and the
take
C's
it.
as well. The C's as well.
They pull him out to the back. Tig could be able to get 2 here. It's still just playing around with the angle. 20 bullets, and he's fine. Dark Ratio still yet to plant, but they're going to use the Viper's Pit to try to help them out.
Rossi
almost shuts it down entirely. It's still the 2-on-2. Ainge brings it back equal with that one shot, and they still have the Viper's Pit. They
No, this
still
is
have
crazy.
a molly here.
This is a crazy play. Because you can't work back in towards spawn. You have to clear out U-All, and you have to worry about your flank here as well, which Wardell wasn't wary of. Ult is down. Ainge stays out of it too long. He can't win the fight. Wardell takes him out in Zexro. He's been so clutch. He's played so well. And to take a 1v2. To tie back up the score. Game for 1 takes the swing. But Wardell, the man of the hour, steps up when they need it. And 5 rounds for the nation. And a very precarious situation with that Viper's Pit.
I mean, maybe they played a little bit too much, but Ainge was the one that even brought them back into that round to begin with. That retake just went too right. Thankfully, Wardell is back. Thankfully, Wardell is able to get that frag, but the next round once again becomes difficult for Dark Ratio. 3 rounds taken off, 5 out of the last 6. Their economy is just going to keep getting reset. They do finally have a bit of a loss bonus coming up, but the nation, off of the next 2 rounds, they can just win all the way up 9-3.
Dark Ratio are trying a lot of early util.
Bring them down.
Already a smoke, Malby, flash, distributed between the sites, even a nade as well. That will force a TP, and that's going to redirect them back to the B site. Now, how quick are the nation to react? They're going to pop this ultimate. I think that's a great call as well.
Yeah,
yes, you're up against Stingers, but you cannot just get run over.
Brax is the only one holding inside. Gonna be able to take down one. The trade does come in, though, from Zexro. Finally, there is one person holding over towards elbow, but not gonna hold the cross. There's Dark
Oh my
Ratio
gosh.
with pistols, with SMGs.
Look how scared the nation are. They still have Wardell and Stewie left on that A site.
I mean,
these
how many times
players-
have we seen the U-Haul lurk?
They're going to try and retake through elbow. This trick takes a swing. Oh my goodness, and I take out both of them. Donk doesn't clear. Donk didn't clear an Ainge. Takes the swing, but Rossi.
And that's it.
Oh my gosh, a lovely trade. 6-3, and I mean, it's extremely scary as Dark Ratio make it close again. They did draw out the Viper's Pit though, so there's a silver lining in this round. But now they'll have the buyback, so hopefully they can do a little bit more damage.
Timeout too at a good time. These are 3 huge rounds for Dark Ratio. I mean, they lose this next one out. The next one's pretty much done for.
I think they have max loss bonus. I don't know. I didn't take a good look at their buy, but we'll see after the timeout. But
Even still.
we're at this like halfway point where both teams have had time to adjust to one another. And I think this is Moonchopper, by the way, former C9 coach, trying to get a word in here as well to tell Dark Ratio what he wants from them, what changes he wants adjusted. And I imagine he's speaking directly to the IGL drone, who I'm presuming is the IGL. Someone can correct me on Twitter if they want. Trying to give words, and I think for now, what we're seeing is Wardell coming alive, and I think Will getting nullified. It's between these two. That head-to-head that we highlighted, that while Will has been unbelievably good throughout this event, it was the only time he's been negative. He got shut down by the nation in that loss against him. I think he had like 9 kills and 17 deaths across the 2 maps, and he's shut down here. He had great impact, I think, to open things up, but the way the nation have adjusted by sending a lot more early util to figure out and slow down Will, he's not having the same impact that he had on Icebox, or at least in the early stages of this first half.
Could see a bit more freedom for Will here. Really, because now, dedicating himself to a bit of a default, bit of a contact. It's nothing fast, but it's definitely a little bit more comfortable. Dark Ratio do continue heading up with 2 going up towards short, though, but these are all just empty contacts, nothing committed.
Yeah, look at this hold in towards U-Haul. And Wardell is here with a showstopper that, like, I'd say just hack it and send it through if there's too much pressure there. But that's where he's posted up with the C's and the nade combo as well. They know there's pressure here off of that Fade Prowl or Fade Haunt. And they full cleared showers as well. So this is leaning all in towards a B hit. And with no one in towards Yule, I'm worried here for Dark Ratio. Yes, they have a backdoor towards the TP, but Ainge is the only pressure they have here, and Wardell wants it. He's hunting for it, and he gets it.
Here we go.
Oh, Rossi. Oh, Rossi.
And Brax has the angle. I mean, this is what we were waiting for. We knew that Rossi was going to have some sort of big impact on this defensive side as he had before. But when would the opportunity come? It was then. The most obvious one.
30 seconds left.
He's just going to tuck himself in the corner. I mean, he's just going to try and save this rifle, the nation. What a round from them. They clear, I think, first of all, they cleared out showers, like full cleared out showers without problem. It went so deep. And then played towards short. I mean, the controlling towards this hookah position where when that poison orb went down, they still dropped instantly after a sky smoke, which continued to maintain that pressure. They knew where the hit was coming, allowed them to reposition over towards long. But it's a very well-played round from the nation. And yes, Zextra will get out with the rifle, but that's all they've got going into the next. I mean, they can buy here, which was what I was saying earlier with their economy with the max loss bonus, but it's still a very scrappy buy.
Yeah, okay, they'll be, yeah. Dark Ratio. They have something to work with, at least with the orbital strike, but they actually need to get on site to be able to use that potentially for a post plant or, I mean, really anything going on early because, again, they were dominating bathroom early and some small adjustments from the nation has taken that position back since. Here we go. It's going to be that double satchel again. No adjustment from Dark Ratio.
Oh, great counter there as well.
Satchel.
Slowing Will down instantly. They wanted to use that orbital strike towards the top of showers, but it's not enough. Even with the snake bite as well. Wardell good for another. This man is on one now.
Yeah, Wardell's going to keep going. One more in front of him. Ainge not looking to peek, but does take away the boombot. Wardell with a light one. The two players in the back continue the flawless round for the nation. I mean, this is it now. They're feeling good.
One more round to play in Dark Ratio. They're playing with scraps. 6 rounds in a row. 2 successful retakes. They have their number right now. And Dark Ratio, they have no response. They tried to get Will back up. A similar play to what they did in the pistol. With a fast look towards showers. But the nation have prepped everything. Like a book right now. And in this last round, it's Dark Ratio to try and at least get onto 4. Make this a winnable half. Make this a winnable game.
Starting off a bit of info, but look at this. It's going to be a double push, maybe. 2 players next to Teleporter, Dark Ratio. They're being stuck.
Well, there's a lot of pressure. Hold on. A poison orb, I think, blocked out. The sky flash, and well, they can't rotate because they don't know. Wardell finally goes down, and Stewie's going to try and maintain this U-Haul control as best as he can.
They're isolating for it. You know the potential finally to find Stewie. But they're holding on for post plant. They're holding on now for orbital strike.
Brax good on the flank.
They still have Fade ulti to use. Zextra might be able to take down Tig here through the smoke, but Trick not only gets the frag, but gets the ulti live to get some of these positions. Knows that there's 2 towards the back. Might know that there's 1 flanking. Drone is the one that gets him just off of the contact anyways. And last person remaining is Rossi, where they all have his number. Finally, a big round for Dark Ratio, but it was a bit more scattered from the nation. It's 8-4 going into the next half.
I think this is a round where we expected the nation to be with a 75% defensive win rate between the 2 maps they played before. They have exactly that here in the first half. We haven't seen too much from them on the attack in terms of rounds played. I mean, they have a 64% win rate. But what we really, really want to see is how Dark Ratio will adjust. Because again, a map they haven't played, and I'm theorizing it's because they're bad at the map or because they just haven't showed their hand. 'Cause it's not a map they typically ban. It's just a map that doesn't get picked against them or they don't pick it. So now on the defensive side, probably and arguably a lot of people will say, a little bit easier of a side given their composition. We'll see what they can do. Early flash and a run down towards B. And the nation, we've seen them before do this kind of snake bite shower combo where they drop it towards the front and double blast back toward land. But instead, they're just going to run straight up.
It's going to be the seize alongside the nade, too. That combo works! Wardell is so far away and barely gets hit. Will is still in the back, but Drone's in the middle of the smoke. Waiting for anyone who's cheeky, waiting for anyone who wants to go through. But that double molly is so good here. The nation is actually going to be able to plant because of the navy.
Great kill from Rossi. Now he has a flash as well to put even more pressure. Allows the swing from Tig, but he loses the fight to a full flash Zextro. And Will as well for another a dink as he falls, but Brax, he's in no position to support. The spike really isn't planted for him.
Oh, I love this orb. He's playing for someone to walk right into it, but everyone's outside. Brax has walked out of the smoke. Zextro playing out from Radiantite. The defuse is down to half. Stewie looking for an angle, but no one's actually defusing. They let go of it. Stewie, run! Get an angle! He's still looking for the person in the middle of the smoke, looking for util, but it finally gets defused in the middle of the chaos. Dark Ratio, they almost gave it up for a quick second there. They recovered.
And these pistol rounds have been really heavily going the way of Dark Ratio. And it's a nice start to kick off the second half. We're kind of getting some questions answered slowly but surely about this defensive side. Will is, again, going to be a key player, I imagine. I have to say again, not the best performance in that first half. He had great impact in the first, 4 rounds and then started to teeter out when the Nation began to adjust to him. So if he can come back online with Zextro like we saw in that first map, this will be a hard match for the Nation. And Wardell, I mean, nothing needs to be said. He needs to keep up this form. He's playing great.
Trailblazers deep, clear long. But again, it's this type of route that we're actually not going to be able to see Wardell pop off. I want to see the one-off here from Stewie. He's looking for a 1v1. The back of sight, someone who we said that just has to be a little bit more impactful in comparison to that first map. But I think that's all the impact they needed. Pick out from short, or from showers. And that has actually pulled 2 different rotations, if they actually go fast enough, but I don't think they will.
Two smokes down. I mean, they're going to try and Hail Mary it. We'll see Wardell. Shorty into the mix.
Shotgun.
Right into 10. And I cannot believe Zextro fights this, but he still wins it.
30 seconds left.
I like that from him now. The Nation with their Hail Mary play.
It works. They should be able to get a plan.
I mean, you can see how quick these rotates are. I mean, Will double blast backs on over. This is kind of calm, I'd say, from Dark Ratio.
Yeah, Kalamate. Spike is nowhere near being played right now. Will does complete it. Okay. Breath of fresh air here, Dark Ratio. All good.
Four Phantoms for the Nation. I'm thinking, when I see Phantoms in particular, I think Razes are going to go blast packing into sights, running and gunning it down.
Sure, they're anticipating it too.
Yeah, but we're going to have to see it. I mean, if he wants to do it, they're posted up back here towards B, where typically it's Stewie working his hookah control, but he's going to have Wardell right behind him. So it's switch up in this default that we're seeing from the Nation. In terms of this hookah control, it's typically always been Stewie solo working it with a singular prowler. And he's going to try and swing off of the boombot, hoping that someone would shoot the boombot before they shoot him. And that will be full control of hookah taken. And that's going to draw rotations. 2 players from Dark Ratio. I think they're going to gamble, especially on this bonus round where they don't have the better guns, to try and play numbers. And even if it doesn't work, kind of snowball their way back into the A site on this retake. And now I think Nation need to get going because they've done the best they can to draw rotations. Now it's about pulling them away and then pushing on the site.
Seems to be a theme. I think we saw that a little bit in the last round, but the Nation's still very much taking their time. The positions are back to normal. Dark Ratio. I mean, there is a chance, I guess. They do have a bit of a crossfire, so the wall should come up. 3 in the middle of sight. I don't know about that one. Ainge just has the SMG, just has a bit of a chance here. The Molly's going to come in. He doesn't really care. Who can actually help here? The double smokes just covers up everyone.
Finds the player out towards Shower, the nade combo as well, but I think the nade is a little bit too far, so Tig will stay alive. He'll even be like majority mid HP here, and he can still fight, and he does that. They're going to try and work back into you all, but Tig is still taking them out, and Wardell up Academy is Phantom Academy. A nice easy double as they try to go swinging on in. And that will give Nation 9 rounds and kind of cut momentum from Dark Ratio. Now they have rifles here. and Will's got a showstopper. So I want to see what he does with this.
And just the way they did it too. I mean, a dark ratio. They thought they had it. They thought that when they went back over towards B and that early rotation, the 2 players back into A. I mean, 3 players in the back. I mean, surely you got it. They called the fact out that the Nation faked them out, but it just didn't work. Now into the next round. Don't really know if the Nation are going to try to go for the last thing they went for. That same default.
Launching smoke.
A very aggressive look towards Showers. Flash, but Zexro still swings due to his smoke. The Nation are just going to sit. They did this in the last round. It was a very slow kind of a retake of Hookah with a boom bot. Stewie's going to swing off of this. Watch. 3, 2, 1. Tries it. Doesn't get anything.
Bring them down.
And the Prowler, full clearing again. So that draws Will over towards you. After full clearing Showers, they're going to play the 3-man cycle where they're feeling that pressure. But we know the way that the last round ended, that there's still the possibility they hit towards the A site. And I think now, I think that flashed. I think both flashes hit on one Showers and one towards Long, and that's why they don't rotate. Another flash as well. Will still commits to it though. He's still committing to this rotate. I don't know if it actually tagged the players out Long, but I'm assuming it does it if Will's gonna make this rotate.
Love the commitment from Rossi. Just pulling out all of his utility on this A site. Just securing the fact that one of these players has to commit to the rotation. But here we go. 2 players in the back of B. Job has been done. Can they actually clear him out though? Zexro.
Heard the bullet. They know Trick is there.
That's unfortunate. That is so unfortunate. Unless Trick can actually get something out of it. He swings out. Almost gets the damage he needed. From beyond the grave. Will gets one, but it's only the one now. Off the post plant! They still have Zexro on sight! Tig does get the trade back, but now it's a 2v1. Can they stop it? Orbital strike going in! And it's deep enough to cover up the exit. Well done from Tig.
A quick reaction.
We're ready.
Orbital strike as well. Knows that with the timing, it might be a Hail Mary play. But Nation, again, great fake as well. You're seeing manipulating and how this like slow style is going to work for them. All it took was a singular fake from Rossi. And Brax playing out towards Long. He's the one guy that stands strong and says, I'm going to take down Will. I'm going to take him out of the sky. Does exactly that and really denies any opportunity for Dark Ratio to have that man advantage off the showstopper. Flash will connect. They're looking for a kill. There are 2 players fighting really heavily here from Dark Ratio, and this is the first.
Just off of pistols, you should expect some weirder angles, some weirder approaches.
And the difference is that with these 4 players like fighting out Long, there's no one towards Showers. That's typically where Rossi is playing, and nobody on Dark Ratio is going to take that space. They don't even check it, really.
Don't need to. Nation. They haven't maintained a contact in that area for the last 2 rounds, except for the fact that the sky has been everywhere.
Oh, he doesn't. He's above it. Doesn't take any damage off of that nade, and I think Rossi's going to go back towards Showers to clear. Probably hoping to keep these rotates. So this is what Nation did last round. They sent Rossi with a late flash and a late workup towards Showers to either pull rotations back to A or lock them into A. And now he's got Brax to try and sell it even more.
Here.
I don't know again if that flash that they're constantly sending out Long is tagging these players. So no one is moving from Dark Ratio, and another hit in towards B, where they did the same thing in the last round. Late flash of Showers, but this time Trick will give us a 4v5.
Wait, the angle in Hookah. And Trick is getting more! What's going on? Zexro might have a chance, but the player actually rotates back. He has to somehow get back into sight, and the orbital strike is certainly gonna help. The delays for the rotation, 15 seconds left. These players have to commit to B. The cross is there for the stinger. Zexro is able to get one. Age is here on site to try to help. Rossi with a double. Drone has to be here. Will is here too. 4 seconds left. Plant finally going in. Stewie covering. The nade doesn't kill. And now it's a 1v1 with the plant down. A body shot is all that drone needs. And nails it, keeping Dark Ratio in the game.
Huge, huge props to these B anchors. Zexro, really, I mean, that ultimate buys so much time for the rotate, but the first contact from Trick, I mean, it's ridiculous he gets 2 kills. And they did not expect Trick to be, or apologies, Trick to take these kind of duels. But well played, and I mean, Rossi and Stewie nearly pulled this one off. I mean, all it takes is 1 bullet to either of these 2 players, and Drone, fortunate to have the lower ground angle, the uncertainty. That will give Dark Ratio a 7th in the Nation. starting to slip up. They're starting to catch up here, Dark Ratio. And this time, there's no default towards showers. They're fighting 3 out towards long. And this time, Dark Ratio will go investigating instead of long. They're going to go down towards B mid.
Trailblazer might have just spotted the fade, but that's just about it. It's so fast for Wardell. Wardell already had the angle on Trick. Zexro goes out, needing to get more, but it just won't happen. It's an early take where nobody rotating from A has a chance.
And a Viper's Pit available here for the Nation as well if Brax wants to use that. And he will. Securing an 11th round. And this is a number that we see so many teams able to close on and capitalize and close out maps, and that's what the Nation have right now. Stewie watching for the flank, and I think Dark Ratio are considering the save here. They don't really have guns to play with in the next.
It would have been the opposite though. Dark Ratio.
Still waiting.
They somehow shut down the Nation here, and that's their golden ticket back into the game. I mean, you saw it, right? All of those players down to 0, just 1 on 2K. But now the Nation, they're going to go back to their old ways. 4 players surviving here. Economy going back to normal. Dark Ratio just buys themselves some time with this save.
And I think 3 rifles is still going to be a menacing prospect to look at if you're the Nation, right?
They're nothing but flies.
They can still, they can actually really confidently buy here because Will didn't take any damage, so he doesn't have to buy anything back. He can drop a rifle over to Zexro or a Trick. I imagine that's going to go to Zexro. Never mind, it goes to Trick instead. And a timeout called by Moonshopper. Didn't have the success, I think, that you wanted in the first half off of his timeout. It ended up going 8-4 in favor of the Nation even after he called it. But I think on the defensive side, you have a lot more adaptable capabilities. And you still haven't found a way, I think, unfortunately, even with the defensive side, to get Will in positions where he can get aggressive. And like we saw in Icebox with Trick walking down main, Ainge walking up mid on Icebox attack, they're not doing these kinds of plays. They're not getting as aggressive as we saw them on Icebox, and I don't know if it's a confidence thing or it's just a lack of comfortability on this map.
Yeah, I mean, this is the first time they've played it in what 5 months? So it kind of makes sense that they're not going for anything too tricky, or at least one that they would have a setup for a trade. Will, for him to get some sort of impact here, it has to be a deeper contact. It has to be one that forces Nation to utilize that utility early, to try to clear angles that they shouldn't be clearing, that is pretty much secured from the beginning of the round. That's the type of stuff that should make the difference at the end of the round, but we're not seeing it. It's going to be big over towards that mid side.
And it's Zexro to fight here with a Stinger. He's going to drop a smoke in front of him as soon as he feels contact, and I think play inside of it. And this is an avenue that I think Nation want to take, because they can get Wardell into Ortuka and play with the double ult. But maybe they were expecting aggression from Dark Ratio, it looks like. Nothing given. They're breaking early utility, yeah. Similar to what they did. I wouldn't be surprised if we see Rossi drop the spike over to Tig and make a very fast run towards Showers to send a flash.
Yeah.
If not, it'll be a full exit in from Hookah with this Wardell showstopper.
Uh-oh, Zexro with the Stinger! Survives against the showstopper of Wardell, and Hookah has been taken back.
Smoke's down.
All right, just the one interaction does go their favor, but they need a little more. The hero rifle works for Will.
And a spray through the smoke as well, tracing bullets back to Rossi. And how about that? That's the second time Zexro has completely avoided this Fade and Raze duo into Hookah. First avoids the C's and the nade combo, which ultimately ended up having them win the round because they thought Hookah was clear.
I have the spot.
And now again, taking out Wardell, pushing Stewie away so there couldn't be a split
30
into B.
seconds left.
And this will be Dark Ratio on an 8th. Possibly even resetting the Nation. I might have been wrong there because I think they kept 4 players alive in the last, and even though the round's not done just yet. Will with the cross with Stewie. Must get the kill. Actually blinds his own teammate. Gives a chance to Brax if he can clear this elbow area.
What?
Okay.
I don't blame him. To be honest, if I saw a flash go in front of elbow, I would not expect anyone to be at elbow because it would have to be your teammate.
It works out. Again, a huge round for Dark Ratio. I mean, they just didn't have the competitive buy that you expect. And with a Stinger, they spark around where they would have given up a 12th.
You know, I would be a little bit, you know, disheartened. The fact that both the times you tried to clear Hookah with this Raze Fade combo, it hasn't worked. a smoke to try and avoid this flash. But nothing off of it. And they're going to, again, work this B site. I think this is probably the smarter call. You have 2 smokes to set up for elbow and spawn. But Stewie, yeah, they are so respectful of this kid Zexro in towards Hookah. Like, Stewie is not challenging. He's not going to go alone. He's going to wait for this boombot to come through. And even then, Zexro has been class in holding this Hookah spot.
We didn't see a single A contact.
They're walking in silently this time. They're trying to bait Zexro into this fight.
They're going to do the same setup.
Probably do it late. And Zexro's been forced away, which is good enough for now, and will give them that control.
They util dump back into Hookah and back into Long, but they still have people here. Dark Ratio. One in the front side, in bathroom. Here comes Ainge. Able to pick up the spike, but still needs a little more work. But he's actually going to utilize the Viper's Pit to try to fight things. Still a lot more action, but not anymore. I think Ainge just shut it all down. Shot through the wall, and he picks the spike back up in the middle of his
30
pit.
seconds left. 1 enemy remaining.
And Will just picking them up one by one. What a round. And honestly, what a misplay from the Nation to send the spike alone in towards Showers and to give Ainge an opportunity to shut down a play like that. I mean, Wardell goes in crazy fast towards the backside, and I think that this may be a miscom. Wardell blast packing alone, and it felt like no one was ready. This guy, Rossi, wasn't even up in Showers. Nation are starting to crumble, and this is the stuff that Stewie was talking about between the rookies and Tig and Rossi, who don't have that kind of crazy mental fortitude like these veterans of Wardell, Braxton, Stewie. Missed calls be made, coordination isn't there, they get a little bit antsy. And one of the words that Stewie said was, we have to play smart. They are the ones that have to fix it. We have control. And he said that about a map that they nearly choked. So this is a map that they're nearly choking. And I think those words apply here. Dark Ratio, they've made adjustments. And they figured it out. And now the Nation have to respond back.
Here.
Where will we even see the entries in the future from the Nation? Because again, we haven't seen the explosive, the huge double satchel setups, right?
You just did that though, that's the thing, and it didn't work. So I'm wondering if Miniker is going to call another timeout and just say, let's change our setup up and figure out what we're doing wrong. Because a lot of it has been focused towards this B site. And the one time they hit A, they get slaughtered. They don't even step on this site. Wardell's the only one that gets in, and he's all the way in spawn by himself. And for Dark Ratio, to have that kind of adjustment this late, and to be able to do it in a confident manner, and not just a confident manner, but in a moment that it matters the most. When Nation are 2 rounds away from closing out this map, it puts a lot of the pressure on these Nation players. And like I was saying earlier, I think it comes down to that veteran status of Stewie, Braxton, Wardell, to kind of calm down this team and figure out the nerves.
They gotta dissipate some nerves just off of this one round. What is the setup here? The Nation, they do have Spike down, and they do have a decent position, but double swing comes in. The jumping right click. Wardell has to get another one, but not gonna get the kill onto Will. If he gets that one, could be able to run away a bit, but Dark Ratio, they avoid the tragedy. It is 10-11.
And this is the kind of the ultimatum round for both of these teams. There's still a decent amount of money between these 2 players of Will and Zexro to buy. They can at least buy 2 players. Never mind, the way they're distributing the money now gives them a buy guaranteed for the next.
Yep.
Trick is going to be the one to pick up the out. We've seen it pass from Zexro. I thought it was going to Will on Icebox, but now it's Trick instead that picks it up. And look at the setup switch to move Trick now to this A site where he's going to take the op. And moving now Will towards the B site. And this is a switch up. A much different look on the default from the Nation.
Yeah, they're going to put out 2 early contacts over towards Showers. We usually only see any sort of contact there. 30 seconds, 40 seconds into the round. They already pull out the Prowler. But there's no contact on the B site whatsoever. They're leaving that side completely quiet.
And Tig is just looking for any pushes right now. Orbital Strike available for Tig as well to help clear. That's a great swing, and that's what they love to do. They did it in Hookah. They tried it in Hookah, and this time it works in Showers.
They're not going to do anything with it, though. They're just going to maintain the advantage. Just maintain the spots that they have.
retake of showers off of a nade. No flashes yet for Trick. And I think the issue is that when you're any agent other than a duelist on an operator, you're going to have to put the scope down to put out util. But Trick isn't fighting into it. He's just going to... What was that shot? Brax. A literal sliver. And it puts it a 5v3. Still the ultimate here, the orbital strike. And Trick is on an island by himself.
He's all the way out in the open currently. He's going to go for the first pick. And he already got revealed by the Haunt. All good for the Nation going into the middle of this site. Dark Ratio. They have two incredibly important ultimates, but you want that win condition for this last round, essentially. For the last 2 rounds, it's a big comeback that they need to make.
We're going to see if they can get a pick. They work into this off because they have money to buy. So I would not doubt it that they could win this round. But, I mean, Stewie has been a heater in this specific round. And, well, the trade is perfect there from Tig. Zexro now is just going to be looking for damage because the Nation aren't clear of any economic standings just yet. They need every gun coming out of this round. These 4 players in particular to walk away with their guns, and they're not. Tig goes down, and there's more damage to be done here from Zexro. And they finally get away with at least 3. But that got a little sketchy. You can see in the bottom right, Rossian 750 credits instead.
Match point.
That round and the cost that Zexro could have done could have been everything there. Because now, I think for the Nation, it comes down to financials if you can't win this round. And that's the Dark Ratio setup they're trying to go for.
Well, yeah, they should technically be fine, but there is going to be a lack of util on someone like Rossi.
No, I think Rossi is fine. The key thing is that if they all had to buy back, they would be on like the same amount of credits as Rossi, 500. And then if Dark Ratio, if they win this round, there's no money for the Nation left over.
What is this? Contact. Guiding light back over towards that long side, but this will be a little bit more difficult. Looks like a smoke setup to try to bait util.
And they've gone back into the same default between both of these teams, putting both Will
Blinded.
back over towards A and Wardell back towards B. But instead, Stewie's the one watching showers. So they aren't contesting Hookah really at all here, it looks like. And a very deep boom bot. But it's not drawn rotation because they need to re-clear showers here. And once they do that, that will pull Will away. And the timing of this could be perfect, but Will sticks around.
Will's going to be in a decent position to try to help out, but Drone might have to do everything here. Do they know that he's there?
The showstopper here could be big. I think that's why they keep Will here, because they have 2 pivotal ultimates that they can play with.
Oh, hell yeah. Oh, I love it. The showstopper can do everything, but he's walking away. He's walking away. The pivotal spot is gone. 40 seconds left. Smoke is up. In for U-Haul. Will is still very far away, but could finally have the impact. He is back on site.
Over the APC as well. Over the truck, you get double blast back, and it would be enough.
It's the
safest. It would at least catch 1.
To save a spot for it, but Wardell just entering slow, trying to find a pixel on site, has the smoke in front of him to try to clear showers, and there finally goes a showstopper. Wardell popped through the smoke, showstopper of his own, but he gets shut down immediately. Ainge with the spray transfer, able to get 2, and he still keeps going. Ainge with 3, keeping Dark Ratio in the game.
And I think it's just enough to kind of put the Nation in a very awkward bind. Yeah, Rossi's gonna have no gun here. And this is the timeout that Miniker needed. This is where they need to figure things out now. Dark Ratio, everything is working in their favor. Momentum is on their side. And they had the perfect trap set up. Rossi even getting caught in the mix of that one, taking damage. And I think Wardell got a little bit too confident there. He runs out the smoke before the showstopper is out, and that's what gives Ainge the opportunity. But Will, what a great showstopper to split apart that offensive play and give Ainge an opportunity sitting in top of Shroud or towards Tower, outside of Showers, and to close out that round. Again, this is the Nation. They can. I imagine that those 2 rookies, in respect to the other 3, Tig and Rossi, are feeling the pressure now. And Dark Ratio, they know that this is their game to lose. They're already up a map right now, so they're not feeling too much pressure.
Yeah, the Nation has to feel something, though. Momentum's completely up against them, but it's the battle back and forth for places like Showers that we just have to deal with, right? We wanted some sort of contact. Keep Ainge looking back towards Showers, but no contact came whatsoever from the Nation. They ignored that place completely.
And in this final round, they're not going to attempt it. They will, actually, with Wardell. Someone that, I mean, he's been playing great on this second map. But will his efforts be for naught? A slower look and a double play. This time, they're comboing the Fade and the Raze over towards Showers instead to take that control. This is Dark Ratio. I mean, they are so aggressive here towards B. In a Viper's Orb instead, and a Viper's Wall here combo. They've swapped the controllers and put Will to play with Trick.
It's almost
an incredibly interesting setup in the sense that Will has looked so good on A with his util, and it can combo it with Fade, but now he's playing here with Trick, who's going to get aggressive off of him.
They see no one here. Utility, but this clear is going to negate all of it. They're going to realize that Nation, they're out and away.
Nation don't know. They have no idea Will is hunting. This is the first time he's ever done fire. This is what I meant. This is kind of what I wanted from Dark Ratio, get aggressive, and now they're finally doing it. Will hot on their tails. Yes, Brax gets one. He can pop the ultimate, but Will is still behind them.
That's huge. Will, you might have the right timing.
One, maybe two. For sure two.
He's gonna be able to take down the Spike and Tig. Viper's Pit goes up, but the nade might be able to shut it down. 3v3 as Stewie2K does pop out. 2 players in the back of sight. Will is trying to sandwich. Angel 1v1. Doesn't kill the Viper's Pit. Still more work to do. Still another peek from Will. And not able to get it. A 1v3. Trick trying to take this one back. Trying to finish this now. But the Nation stay alive and they push it to a map 3.
God, I have no words between both of these series. First, both maps go the distance, and all players are starting to come online. Wardell in this second map, we wanted him up, we wanted him to frag to compete against someone like Will, and did exactly that. And you'll see it now here in the highlights, how everyone, it felt like, on the Nation are playing so confident, utter confidence from them. And while, yes, I feel like this map was exceptionally close, it did feel like for the majority of this, it was the Nation in almost full control, right? From that first half into the second. But questions have been answered. Map that they haven't played in 5 months. We can see they can compete with a team that is, this is kind of their most confident map for the Nation. And Dark Ratio competed on it at an exceptional level.
And that's all that matters. Dark Ratio, they didn't have any expectations going into this. It was just going to be reading their strat book and just throwing out what they can throw out. And again, they got close. They got incredibly close. I just couldn't believe the fact that they actually did end up kind of making that comeback in the second half.
Right.
But, I mean, we wanted to see more impact from just more players anyways. We finally did end up getting that from the second half. But on the defensive side, it did start to seem bleak. I'm glad the comeback happened at around 6-2. But multiple times there for Dark Ratio, it just didn't seem like Bind was the most comfortable thing. But they did a good job kind of negating most of the approaches. They just kind of stayed in their spawn. They watched the contacts. That's all they needed to do.
And I think in that map alone, like obviously Will was someone that played really good again. Nearly a 1.0 KPR, but someone like Zextra who had like 28 kills or like around 30 kills on the map of Icebox, to not be able to frag out like we expected him to, it's a bit of a disappointment. And what we want to see moving forward is that guy heating up alongside Will, because when those two are on, it feels like they're unstoppable. Will has been kind of negating the stigma of when they last played Nation, that if he doesn't frag, they lose. He's fragging and he's here, and the rest of Dark Ratio need to be there to support him. But for now, I mean, it felt like we were losing our grip on the game. And if you feel like you're losing your grip on your game, make sure you check out Sedex. That was such a smooth transition. Good stuff, Sully. Sedex is one of our associate partners for the event. Stay in control of your game with Sedex Gecko-inspired thumbstick grips for unprecedented grip and increased accuracy. Available in low rise, medium rise, and high rise. They all fit easily onto every single controller, so make sure you check them out. Available on Amazon.com/Sedex. We'll be right back with the final map of the VCT Challengers Open Qualifiers #1 here on the mainstream.
Yo, check it out. Want to know if the price of those wave runners is too good to be true? Or if I Wear My Kicks 49 is truly selling dead stocks? Or if that Jordan 1 Royal Box is original? eBay checks. See that little blue check mark? Behind it is a team of independent authenticators who check. And we mean everything. Every tongue, check. Every toe box, check. Every corner of every box, check, 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 check. Every logo, every label, every lace loop. Yeah, it's checked. The luster of the leather, the topography on the tags, to the straightness of the stitching on the sole. Everything you can see, and even some things you can't.
Really?
Then they tag them, log them in the system, box them up, and ship them out, with no cost for the buyer or seller. eBay checks, so the moment you open that box is as real gets.
Our final map for these teams here in Open Qualifier number 1. I'm Sully joining with UpMind, and it is one more map and one more chance for these teams. Dark Ratio in the Nation, both of our maps have gone the distance, and this is it for them. One team goes home and one team advances, and our final map is going to be Fracture. A map that the Nation have never let a team get more than 5 rounds on, and I think that is something to be said, because going into this, all eyes are on them to perform.
Yeah, again, the Nation, good on this map for sure. Dark Ratio, they have their own results. In the last few months, we have been seeing them finally perform in Tier 2. I mean, some sort of competition out there exists for them to play. And the one game that they ended up playing against a VCT opponent, Shopify Rebellion, they ended up taking away Fracture from them. So this is the map. The Nation, they've been completely dominant throughout this entire tournament. We've been mentioning the word dominant throughout this time. No, this is dominant. Again, no more than 5, but only letting Breakthrough, a team who has already qualified to the next stage, they only let them have 1 round on this map. So
Yeah.
This stage is set. This is as close as we can get. It's one last opportunity.
Yeah, the stage is set, and one of the main actors for this map in particular is going to be Wardell, right? We're looking at this guy who, first map, I mean, he had nothing. I'm going to be honest, he didn't do anything. But second map, he was the man. He was the man about the attack and defense. Really key in getting control of hookah, which we saw later in that second half, and really key at getting control on the critical parts of the map on the defensive. He was shifting back and forth between sites. And now that I feel that Wardell is online, and it's his Raze agent, he hasn't played Jet. By the way, you guys think he's up Academy Jet. He's not playing Jet for the rest of this series. He's going back onto the Raze for Fracture, presumably. So there's a lot to be said and a lot to be looked out for when it comes to Wardell. He's back on an agent that he just absolutely destroyed on and competed against someone like Will, who has been #1 in terms of everyone's eyes in this VCT event. So as we head into this agent select, eyes on Wardell, eyes on Will to continue to perform. But players like Rossi and Zextro, last map, they took a very big step back in terms of what they wanted to do.
I mean, what we saw from Zextro in the first map was all-star making, right? More kills than Will, more kills than anyone else that we've seen so far today. And even then, just wasn't able to capitalize in the second on a map that you would like to have seen a little more impact from that type of agent. But as we head in finally into Fracture, I mean, we see some different comps for sure. It is a little tough to be playing Fracture with that Cypher. But even then, we should see a whole lot of fun impact from both the Fade and the KO. I want to see Stewie 2K versus Trick. I want to see Trick finally step up, bottom fragging the last map.
I love how you say that Brax is not confident on Cypher, but then again, this is the agent that they've never let 5 rounds go by. So yeah, I
didn't say Brax.
I could agree that Cypher's a little bit more of an uncomfortable agent, but I'm not going to question a team like the Nation. And we go into this first map, or apologies, this first round. And keep in mind, no team has ever gotten more than 5 rounds in the Nation. And their win percentage on both halves are 80+%. So Dark Ratio, they've got a tall task. I think when it comes to teams they face, Dark Ratio beating the better of them. But the Nation just recently, again, like you said, beating a team that have already qualified for challenges 13-1. It's one map, one team moves on, one team goes home. And it starts here with the Pistols.
Gaining up a whole lot of ground. You do get the contact from the Cypher, and actually Stewie opted to shift back with the Cypher.
And it's a very early rotate from Dark Ratio. Will in a key position to call this rotate over. And look at the util that's already stacked up here on the B site.
And the alarm bot going to be able to catch the spike here.
And this
There's
is
only one in the middle of site.
They've loved to do this. I think Dark Ratio have done their homework perfectly. Alarm bot here towards the box.
Ooh!
And Wardell's trying to get in top. Does he get control? He does.
Wardell's shotgun is just better. Still 2 players that could have helped out for Dark Ratio, but thanks to the Brim, long smoke here should be enough for just the plant. Do it all the way out in the open too. This is great for the Nation. Nobody, not a single person playing in the middle of sight.
And a need to buy more time as Tig looking to fight. He loves to sit in smokes and he's ready to pop. You're on the team with the smoke criminal when you can steal the name right here. Gets one, is there another? Not enough just yet as they're trying to retake tower here, Dark Ratio, and Tig for a second. Continuing to swing on through. This is his map, and this is his calling. A 4K for Tig, and that's the Nation with 1.
I mean, you said it. He's just feeling the energy from the smoke criminal. He pulls one up himself and just gets all 4. The Nation just has to continue this momentum now. Dark Ratio, they were the ones that had a momentum at the beginning.
And I think that this is a player that has gone under the radar. I think I said it yesterday, is that he's someone that gets overlooked. Him and Rossi consistently get overlooked. Even when Rossi's probably the best player on this team statistically, he gets overlooked, and Tig in particular has had phenomenal calling this event. And Stewie really commended him, and those are huge words for someone like him. So to have Tig coming online, to get hype and to play confident, and especially when we talk about, again, Stewie mentioning that these rookies, they kind of lose themselves a little bit when things don't go their way in terms of the game. So to have him get confident early on is going to be a big plus for the Nation.
Yeah. Hopefully that doesn't contribute to overheating.
Right, yeah.
Overconfidence.
That has happened sometimes with the Nation. Hopefully it doesn't happen here, because you're up against probably one of the best teams in this event.
Yeah, another time where we might need a smoke criminal. Dark Ratio slowly make their way out, and Tig, he already starts it off right, already getting himself one. Brax alongside Rossi trying to get away. Tig getting up from behind to try to take down the diffuser. What a jump from Ainge.
Oh my gosh.
Through the smoke. Through the smoke, Rossi saves the round. Because that 1v2, that smoke would have lasted forever.
No, yeah, that was insane. From Ainge's jump over is, what was it, Rossi trying to run around him? Okay. That does get the ult online though for Tig and the kill and the plant and the death. So now with his ultimate online, we'll see how they want to work it. And I mean, the Nation play a lot more aggressive on this map in particular. They'll leave a lot of Brax to kind of work the part of the side of the map that they're not going with. And I think this is going to be another work to try and get Wardell in towards tower. And it looks like it. Alarm bot doesn't actually catch him. They immediately break these sight lines, and it's perfect. Wardell is slowed down, but he still has control with his room bot.
Dark Ratio have control of sight still. They're still holding on for the cross. They're still waiting for anyone to go through, but they don't have to stay outside of the smokes. Zexro, he actually commits a little late to that. He could have stayed in the outside, but he decides to go for the peak midway through the double spill out of waterfall, or out of heaven. Drone does get a flank on alongside Will to at least get a rotation in. But what is this setup for the Nation? They have a Rolling Thunder, they have an Orbital Strike, but 3 of them are playing tower.
Tig underneath is playing a really safe spot as well for his Orbital Strike. So this is almost a guaranteed round as Stewie catching Trick off guard. Tig looking for the exits. A singular rifle backed away. I mean, there have been multiple times where we've seen this Dark Ratio lineup play the save. And this time they only get out with 1 rifle. A flying start for the Nation. Ult's charged up. They use the Rolling Thunder there, but they still have that Orbital Strike moving into the next. And this is the side that the Nation playing on their attacking side. The one time they started on the attack, they go 11-1. And now they've removed the only 1 rifle for Dark Ratio.
This is the type of start we've seen so many times to the Nation. Dark Ratio. I mean, who can be the spark to try to take this back? Certainly not in this round. I mean, we could see something, right? They're setting up 5 over towards B, trying to hard read.
I think it'll take time for Dark Ratio to adjust. Similar to what we saw in Bind, where Nation were on their much more dominant half, and I think this is also one of the more dominant halves. It took time for Dark Ratio to adjust, and that's what we'll see, I hope, coming into this next round with the rifles. If not, maybe get a word in from the coach to try and figure things out here. But the Nation, a lot slower this time around. The default is going to work here with Tig as well towards the bottom part of the map. They're looking for aggression, which I think is a smart call. Playing slow towards top dish, and then expecting some kind of push play. Normally in these anti-ecos, they'll work this top part of the map and have Brax work his way all the way up and towards you. But they haven't done that this time. They are respecting Dark Ratio in this instance.
I think a smoke setup for Dish might be ready for Will to burst through.
No, I'm worried though for Will. Or apologies, not Will. Wardell. If he goes down, I mean, that's a perfect spot. A rifle picked up for Will and a perfect vantage point to use that showstopper. Because he can blast back up once.
Ooh, the smoke's coming at a good time too. Is that the jump up finally for Will? Is Will gonna do anything with this? Wardell just goes through! Tries to spark!
Great
but
trade.
It doesn't happen. 4 players are now corralled in A main, but they do take down the showstopper. Do they know about the 2 on site? They know about Ainge now, but what about the 1 at the bottom? The Orbital Strike is gonna spread them out! And it does work out, at least for the 1 frag. Drone does get 1 back, but it's a 2v2 now. Brax looking for anything. The angle was good for Trick, but it doesn't work. 12 seconds. They're trying to isolate Drone! Drone! Almost does it all with the Sheriff. But the Nation, sweat off their brow. They're good.
God, I'm worried again. I'm so worried again. There's something about like the eco rounds with Dark Ratio that you just expect the Nation to win, but those kind of plays between Will, Zexro, and Drone, who I think has played exceptionally well alongside Ainge at times, that combination of players, especially when the positions they put themselves in, where you have Trick kind of supporting on the offsite, that gets scary. Because so much damage can be done between the 3 of them. And now, another attempt to take this tower control from Wardell, but a little bit slower, which is interesting, because they're not going to stun there either. seeing if he can bait anything out. A knife there to try and slow Wardell down. You can see Dark Ratio kind of adjusting, and Tig, the one to watch to lurk instead.
Are they going to
Here's the
abandon
noise,
this?
and I think this is going to have to kind of force the commit in towards B now.
Yeah, well, yeah, absolutely. They got the pick. All of these players are isolated now towards the north side of site. The north side of the map, excuse me. As they head into Arcade, no more util to try to clear them out. They need to dedicate someone back over towards Tower.
Oh, and these ultimates as well are not working in the favor of the nation.
At all.
Orbital Strike and a Rolling Thunder. I think the key part in this round, I don't want to say that it's a done deal round, but the fact is Dark Ratio have just so much space. I think that tripwire breaking doesn't cue them to go to the A site, surprisingly. They would have commit back into this knowing that they full cleared all the way down.
Oh my goodness.
Spike down B.
It's full rifles too. They could have been able to go back, but 2 kills. Uncontested for Dark Ratio. Putting themselves in a real comfy spot for the next 30 seconds. They just need to watch these angles. In front of Arcade. They know where both of them are now. They both got some sort of shot off.
Enemy remaining.
Wardell is going to go down. This is a big change here for the nation for sure. Almost lost going into the north side.
Yeah, I don't
10 seconds.
exactly understand this calling, because you know the trip has been broken towards the bottom part of the map, and you just full clear dish back towards A. They don't elect to go there, and they end up walking into 4 or 5 players already. And Dark Ratio have been able to hold on to the 3 ultimates, and I love this kind of setup because they perfectly counter this Arcade play. There was a knife that came out that was attempted to slow Wardell down and towards his double blast back in towards Tower, and then immediately after take that control back with a flash.
There.
And this is Dark Ratio, like I was saying, finally adjusting.
They're looking good now too.
And they're taking control back in an aggressive manner as well, Dark Ratio.
What is this? Wardell! Almost getting a peek in, but there's so many players here. They have no idea that there's 3 here. But here comes Will. Not going to be able to get anything with a showstopper. But this is a trap. The nation, they might all be going down here. Trick does take down Brax. The one around the corner has gone away. But even then, the nation,
They have the
how
spike.
in the world can they ever get back in this round?
Dark Ratio had the spike as well. The Will blast back Arcade, but this time he at least had a breach there to support him. And Stewie, just a stinger. Gonna try and work back. They're gonna try and at least take that back dish and try and have Tig work at the same time. That Haunt is at least gonna force, though, at least for now, force Trick back to give them an opportunity. With the Orbital Strike, it either forces them back or forces them into the peak.
That could have been real good if they actually went out.
Smoke's down.
Doesn't happen though. They're still stuck. Trying to go for this big peek again. 3 players on the side, and they're even gonna hear the rope. Tig is gonna be uncontested though.
What is going on? Hello?
That it's all Tig, but Zexro, he comes in swinging for the ropes. He's actually able to get 2 off of that, but this big rotate. The spike might be able to make it over towards B in time. 15 seconds left. It's
I
gotta
don't
be
think there's
fast in
time.
the lockdown. What? It was there to read if someone was going A instead. But the plant might go in. Tig has to get behind the box, and he will in time.
Does he spam it though? Zexro wanted to bait him into this B hit, and Zexro's already here! A great shot! Pre-aimed and everything, Zexro. I mean, that is a great play. The lockdown to ensure that he can't plan on A, and then immediately runs to B. It catches him while he's planning. Yeah, I think he's savoring the moment right now. Savoring the moment against Tig.
Little victory lap for sure.
That's
Deserves
4-2. That's a great play from Zexro, but nearly recovered from the nation. A top side crunch that personally caught me unaware, because I did not think that Will was just going to go full send into it with this crazy double cage setup as well, but it worked. And it caught them off guard. And I think we're going to see more like this. And it was unexpected for me because I didn't think Dark Ratio would adjust in this manner, where they're going to force send players to try and gain that kind of advantage, but it worked. And I think we're going to see more of that moving forward as Will gets more and more confident.
I mean, we didn't see those types of setups on the defensive side or the second map. So why see it now? Dark Ratio.
A little bit later, and I think that's what Dark Ratio are realizing, is that this kind of style is very easily counterable if you get aggressive. And that was something that I think Steel and Stewie kind of have very similar styles when with teams they play. It's slow. It's extremely slow. And that's what Dark Ratio have realized, and that's what they've done here again.
It's going to be the first contact from Will. Has a breach right next to him for a whole lot of utility.
Yeah,
the
and Drone
Nation
can slow this down with a single fault line, which I think he's going to do here in a second.
Yeah, great.
Oh, never mind. Rolling Thunder committed.
Yeah, no, Rolling Thunder definitely helps. Drone is just going in. He just goes in with it. Brax is able to get the trade onto Will, too. A disaster for Dark Ratio as they try everything to cover up A main.
Do they commit? There's still a minute left. And they know where he is. Ainge, that's going to force him either in or it's going to force him either out. And now they have the site control. They're waiting for the spam as well. And there's a flanking behind. They hear the door open, surely. Brax tucked in the corner. Multiple players here to fight. Multiple to swing, but he's done so much, Zexro. On the KJ, he's unstoppable.
2 players incredibly low, though. Rossi needs some body shots, but the shots through the wall are going to be able to do it. Oh, my word. Zexro saving the round, coming up from behind, but the Nation, just from that one setup, full A main crunch.
And this is like such a...
that they should be able to make their way through.
A missed time on this swing, like literally give him ones. Bro, he's a Fortnite player. He takes ones every single day. And now a timeout. Yeah, because Nation, they had such a beautiful start. But that's 3 successful retakes in a row from Dark Ratio. They've been getting plants, the Nation, but they haven't had a successful one since Dark Ratio have made those adjustments. And Mid-Season has to have a word here.
Jeez, what a time. I mean, Dark Ratio, we just didn't see that type of effort on Bind. I mean, I don't know if it's the nature of the map or not, but this is at least a little different, at least in terms of sporadically actually putting in that pressure. Of course, it's not constant because you don't want to give the Nation that sort of chance, but doing a good job of just keeping the Nation on their toes, keep them changing things up each round, just for the fact that they just can't be comfortable.
And I think this is a moment that especially comes into that mental fortitude of these 5 players. We speak back to how they work, especially a team that has a bunch of kind of veterans, rookies, and they've only been together for like 2 months. So,
if even.
Dark Ratio have found a way to counter back the Nation, and it's about making sure Tig and Rossi don't do reckless things. They don't try, they don't stress themselves out with trying to adapt. It's play your game. I think Steel said it perfectly yesterday. This game can be broken down into fundamental pieces and simple and easy to understand moments in the game. They have slowed down. They've steadied themselves. A much slower round from the Nation. And a more kind of based default. Working every part of the map this time around. I couldn't find the right word. I didn't want to say simple because it's not simple. It's complex.
This is good. I don't know about the double rope. They're just going to group everyone back towards the south side, but has to be that split back over towards
A. It's because Brax has gotten towards Dish. That's why they're trying to work this, because he realizes that they've given a lot of space up on A, and that's where they want to hit.
Is Brax going to contact first? No, clearly not. They're still going in with the Prowler, looking to re-clear A main. Fault Line comes in at a really good time, though. To re-exec with Will. And Brax, that is his job. He is going to be looking for a pick early on to try to open up A here, and he might find a pixel of the forehead of Ainge. Ainge trying to run around. Drone doing the same thing. He's flashed up. Wardell finally gets him. 2 players here on A for Dark Ratio. They could go out immediately. Will finds one. No, Will doesn't find anything. Ainge is the only one here, and Ainge goes down.
Such a slow work into this A site. And with 10 seconds left, they will get the plant down finally. Zexro will try and work with Trick back into this site. And I mean, Wardell knows. They've one watching drop, one watching tower. They know where the knife has come from. That's a lovely flash, though. Still, though, Tig up close is going to win that fight. And now the Nation, a very, very slow work up in Trick. He's up against a Rolling Thunder and 3 players taking the peak. You can't give this one up here, Nation. He's hunting,
I don't think he's going
to
to try it.
I think he can do damage, but his economy isn't the best. So he elects to save instead. I think it's definitely
I mean, the rest of Dark Ratio, they have a decent win streak going on. Most of the players are going to be able to buy up back again. Well, yet another slow, methodical play from the Nation. I mean, bringing back the trend from earlier.
I think the call here instead, from that fast style that we saw in those first opening 7 rounds, was let's play a slow contact into A, and we were able to bait out the stun from Drone. Granted, no nade came out after from Will, which I thought would have happened, but I guess he was holding it, again, trying to layer that utility in towards A main. As soon as that stun came out, they knew, once the stun is reset, we can pop out of sand and catch this guy off guard, and that's what they did. Wardell was right in his face to kick him out. And we still have buys available for both teams, but the Nation are still working with a lot less. 3 sets of light armor.
The Nation group up once again, and they actually give up all of that information. No one tries to move away from the knife. So Will, he's going to try to maintain a main, but again, Dark Ratio, they've had these sort of positions before. In Nation, I don't think they've really faltered to try to retake.
They've pushed Will. They know they've pushed Will for now out. But again, this constant door opening is going to cause a lot of uncertainty. Because they don't know if he's actually stepped in, if he stepped out. They do spot him now. And a re-clear here as well coming out from the Nation. They're going to try and work off this breach ultimate, it looks like. And I think if you're Dark Ratio, you can kind of back away. You want to maintain Sands as best you can, which is where we see those 2 players.
And they have a lockdown setup too. They could be able to retake, but there goes the swings to try to retake a main. And it's equalized out of nowhere. It goes from a 5v3 to a 3v3.
Yeah, really nice trades from the Nation. They've kind of lined themselves up, which I got a little bit worried, but
Right there.
I think if you're Dark Ratio, you're considering popping both of these ultimates here to not allow them to have confidence to ult into sight. First, you null command them, and then you guarantee the round with the lockdown here. I think it's up to timing here as well. That Rolling Thunder going towards under. I think he's ulting in towards spawn as well.
He is.
Banking on the fact that they were trying to play the retake or get from the get-go.
Oh, it's perfect. I'm sure they didn't know it, but they actually got both
Oh,
of the players that could
Stewie
possibly be
stunned!
here. And Stewie, while stunned, does the same to Trick, but Trick is getting revived.
And they're wrapping back around. Stewie's going for a double flank. He wants to deny the lockdown. And oh my gosh, Stewie.
What a one-tap. Still a 2v2. They're incredibly close. They have to back out of this position. Brax might have been revealing himself for a quick second. Double cage up in front, but he's gonna play behind Radiant Knight. That's a tough spot. His shoulder could be spotted by Trick, but it doesn't matter. He wanted the 1v1 for a reason. And now Drone distracted by Brax. Will he have any idea about the second? It doesn't matter. Brax stands tall.
And that decision-making from Stewie. I mean, the guts on this guy to take that full stun, by the way, and he still fights it.
One enemy remaining.
Oh.
And they won it, and he knew. He predicted the play with that lockdown and decided to or he just thinks he's the best player in the world, and he wanted to fight it. And he got the win anyway. Dark Ratio on this pistol round in the Nation off of the timeout called by Miniker. That slow style where they're taking time to re-clear space. It's working. The Dark Ratio, how do they respond with their next rifle round after this?
Yeah, because there's no way they could respond now. Ange. Try to get a quick pick here. And it was actually pretty close to doing so, but Wardell
Oh,
down to 9.
Braxton, he's getting swarmed as well. Similar to what they did to him in a couple rounds ago when they had the ult from Will.
Yeah, loving the pressure. This is all that Dark Ratio can realistically do. We just didn't see this, though, in the prior pistols.
Wait, but it gives them a rifle here. And it gives a vantage point to retake from with this lockdown. And it gives the showstopper as well to Will. So this isn't out just yet. And you can see respect from the Nation after losing that rifle. They know it's gone to Will. They know they have both ults online. And Stewie, don't do it again, man.
The fact that he was even thinking about it.
Lockdown here as well now.
Okay, yeah, lockdown alongside the Aftershock. No way they're using it now. Stewie waiting for a big pick.
Oh my god!
Takes down both! The showstopper does end up taking him out, but this leaves the Nation in an advantageous scenario. 1v3, easy peasy for them, surely. Zextra on the open, and no chance to take down all 3.
Wow.
What a spray down.
A ridiculous peek from Stewie. He does it twice. Actually, he technically did it 3 times. Once when he was stunned and took down Trick. A second when he wanted to fight Zextra to cancel the lockdown. And another time there. Stewie has come up massively in these 2 rounds. And they brought out both of the ultimates as well.
They did.
One that Will had just gotten, and one that they were saving for a moment like this on Zextro. And it's all for naught, because they played this post plant really, really well with the combo of utility. Nade, stun, and now Dark Ratio have to respond. 2 rounds left in the half, and they're looking for 7 to 5.
This has got to be the time, Dark Ratio. The Nation. I mean, they've been so dominant on this map. I mean, 13 twos, 13 threes. Single digit only, below 5 in dark ratio. This is the round that they need to win.
It's been a very similar story to what we saw in Bind, where Will just is not finding the impact. He's having great rounds here and there, like the crunch towards north side with the showstopper, but that's comboed with 4 other players.
Right.
And then there to get the rifle from Brax. But now that the Nation are again adjusting their style, Dark Ratio have not had a response. You can see Will is at a glimmer of what he once had. And while Wardell, I feel, statistically doesn't look the best, he's still having great openings. And the kills that he are getting have been as impactful as ever. Now Dark Ratio, it's time to respond. Get Will and Zexro back online to close this one out 7-5.
As Zexer wants to heat up, you see that push back over towards Dish, but the Nation, all 5, heading out over towards B, and it's an overheat. Wardell gonna be able to put out a showstopper back over towards Tower, and nothing works. Neither the peak, neither the showstopper, and the hold is working for Dark Ratio.
It's not again,
They're able to get 2 back, but Stewie, not exactly the equalizer, but it helps.
And Brax is nowhere to be seen.
I have the spike.
He's stuck back towards Tree, but these are 2 players that I think work so well by themselves, and now they're going to group up. Brax is watching for any B-man aggression, any flank coming through. Doesn't see anything. And now it's a matter of a re-hit, and everyone on Dark Ratio is here. And how great it would be to get this round and then the next. We're looking at this second half where the Nation, 80+% win rate. So every round here matters more than you can ever imagine for Dark Ratio.
And what a statement this specific round, right? What a start from Dark Ratio.
And Zexro, he's got the operator to watch this angle as well to make his mark. Turret to make the
slow
first
this is, though.
contact?
Left.
How contact heavy this is from Dark Ratio.
There's no
Everyone
way
is
to
safe
get
at this
through
point.
Oh my gosh!
No way. Stewie, you're ridiculous.
I know exactly.
Pixel angle, and he ends up getting it. The person over towards connector doesn't get a peek on.
And they know exactly where both of these players are. The second ping, and I see them lined up. Stewie with the Prowler making this first contact. It's up to Brax to swing, and now Stewie needs to play up it. An ace clutch, and a 1v2, he's stunned. And that was all they needed. But still, Dark Ratio are in this half. One more round to bring us 7-5, and what a scoreline that would be.
Last round in the half.
Starting to get scared at the very end there, of course. I mean, didn't really want to see Brax just get hard swung there, but the Nation, it could still very much depend on the fact they were very much in control of that round, very much in control of the pace for a couple seconds there. Dark Ratio.
And Stewie is working alone on this bottom part of the map. He is all by himself. This is an interesting look. Are they going to try and get again?
Another one.
Wardell up in towards Tower, but it's a lot slower this time, making no noise, revealing nothing. But that knife towards A main is going to allow Will to tuck himself. They should be expecting to say hit, and they have a Rolling Thunder for that kind of retake.
The fault line doesn't hit Wardell. Wardell's going in, and he might just take down Trick. Indeed he does.
That's unbelievable.
The patience from Wardell to stay behind the sack is so good, but still Dark Ratio's all here.
It's a Rolling Thunder, and they need to use this Orbital Strike. They can cancel out this push, but they don't. Instead, they play the retake as they're all out of sight. They read this play, and they know what Dark Ratio want.
It's all done. The Orbital Strike is going to come out to try to cover up the spike. Everyone has to peek out dry. It's a disaster for Dark Ratio, and it's all too perfect for the Nation. They're going to recover the fact that they were looking for domination in this first half, and they got it.
And ending 8-4 is quite the statement from the Nation. They've only ever played one singular full half of this attacking side, and that half went 10-2. And they had a dominant start here. Players online like Tig, I mean, now on this defensive side, a map that they've had 3 full halves to play on, and every single time, it's either 9-3, 10-2, 11-1. It's ridiculous. They 11-1 to breakthrough on this map yesterday. And if things continue in this pattern, it could spell doom for Dark Ratio.
It is. Like you said, I mean, technically one of the worst first halves that we've seen from the Nation.
Yeah. And I feel that, especially on this attacking side, the KJ's not going to find as much impact as we saw her have on the defensive side.
But the Cypher has all the control, has a tripwire. Back over towards Dish, can back up towards site, has a camera. This is just a safe setup here for the Nation, but they're not going to stop anything. This is going to be retake,
like
if anything.
Brax is Leia. Again, they're looking to maintain his sand control. He doesn't have a cage set up, though, here for sand. And that's the interesting thing. They will get onto site. The knife is going to be broken. And Brax is going to tuck himself. Again, Stewie and Brax, two really good individual players, are going to have to try and hold it down on their own.
Ooh,
Gets
Brax
one. That's
actually
more
gets
than enough.
Zexro barely gets the trade there, but okay, the Nation. On the rotation, you would expect something maybe a little bit more traditional.
Oh my gosh, a triple flank here as well.
There's two here for Dark Ratio, though. They have the KO right next to him. The KO can negate everything. Should have a flash ready to go. Zexro ready to go with a ghost. Gonna be able to get one. Has the lineup. Zexro goes crazy with two. Gives the round to Dark Ratio. It's a good start into the second half.
A great post-plant situation for Dark Ratio to be put in. Well held as well there by Zexro, who, again, I have questions for this attacking side KJ, where on both attacking sides that he's played, he's only amassed a total of 14 kills across the first two maps. All of his kills come from that defending side. And what we're looking at is for Zexro to step up massively here, to come back to life alongside Will. And what you need as well is Wardell. I think especially on this defensive side, where he can pick up the op a little bit more frequently to get into those angles that Will wasn't willing to get into.
Oh yeah, we didn't get any of that sort of action.
He doesn't play the op. Will never plays the op. And so to have someone like Wardell that can be a very strong anchor towards that A main position, I think that might be where the Nation could edge this out as we move forward into this half. But it's all a matter of if Wardell's feeling the confidence.
When will they get humbled in that sense? It might already be this round, if anything. The Nation on an eco. This is realistically the only sort of setup that you could pull. I mean, just invest everything, invest everyone. This is the good call. This is what Nation needs. This is what they get. Here comes Will on the front side, gonna be able to take down Tig, but the crossfire is here. Brax is able to take down Will, but nobody else is outside. The smokes are good enough to cover, but Dark Ratio, even with an advantage, they don't seem too comfortable.
Flash. Still almost in full control here of tower. It's up to Wardell to clear this one out. And Trick, that's a... Oh, he doesn't check the counter flash, but he rushes through Wardell. That's a huge fight to win. Zexro.
There's no way.
On the attack has struggled, but he did great in that pistol round. Has an alarm bot to work off as well, right? But it's the one player stuck in the middle of sight, and Wardell has to duel him. That is a beautiful stun, but Drone still wins it.
But they used the util for long. They could have isolated Drone. Stewie now has nothing and just needs to go into 1v2. Takes down the first, though, with a Sheriff. Zexro not looking to peek, shows the shoulder. Stewie not getting any pixels, and Zexro playing this perfectly, running for the hills. Stewie has no chance for the defuse. Finally, Dark Ratio. They finished the round, but I mean, that was just not a round where the Nation should have gotten really any kills, right? So much utility, so much economy being taken away. The bonus is gone.
Yeah, 4 players gone. Not even a full bonus. And Zexro, I think, just barely gets... I think he actually lost his life. I was not paying attention, to be completely honest with you. But he's down to a Spectre with the rest of his team. Same eco. And you're looking at these buys and you're wondering, who the heck won these last 2 rounds? And it's actually Dark Ratio, who now have to work with just Stingers.
Just Stingers.
For the Nation, it's a huge opportunity to work back into this. And it will be an attempt to get Will in towards tower. They knife it, they can stun it. Oh, a little bit of a mishap, and he goes up finally at the very end of things. But they're playing offside here, the Nation. Both.
Yeah, they're respecting.
Brax, alongside Rossi, playing very far offside in this instance.
They don't have a whole lot to retake with, too, but the Nation, all 5 are going to be live. 2 coming up from Arcade. These are the type of spots that, again, we haven't seen Dark Ratio be able to take advantage of. Again, it is just Stingers, but this lockdown, it does help out, to say the very least. Again, the Nation are just respecting this entirely, expecting the rifles. There's no way they would be playing this way if they knew that it was just SMGs. Stewie around the corner is spotting Will, but Will does overwhelm him with a nade. Tig not able to get anything, still looking out for tower. That was very smart for a second there, but Will still gets him. Dark Ratio up in the advantage, but the damage is low. The Nation running out of time. They do finally have sight. But is
They're
it too
backing up.
late? It might
They're
just
backing
be.
up.
That was the type of round that the Nation could have taken to keep themselves up in this game. But Dark Ratio with stingers are able to get it done.
That will be a huge bonus to this Dark Ratio economy. Picking up 2 rifles as well out of that instance. Nation only walking away with 2 of their own. And that will put them on this weird back foot. After trading blow for blow, that's 3 successful post plans from Dark Ratio in a row. And in one of them, Nation had a clear gun advantage. That last one was it. Full buyback for Dark Ratio. And another attempt to take B control. They love to hit this B site. They'll do the same knife flash combo to get Will towards tower, or they'll switch it up and go out towards B main.
Oh no.
Apologies, B site.
That Brim was looking to fight for the first time. There has been nobody actually close up arcade. But because of that knife, he backs on out.
They try and counter this play by moving Brax's setup to account for this arcade play. And they've even dropped an early smoke to force more utility to come out of Dark Ratio's hand. A smoke drew out both the blast pack and the flash. But they work back under. And that camera is going to get a lot of information here in a second if he pops out of it again. A lot to play for here for Dark Ratio. As camera will be broken.
Ooh.
And the read.
What is this?
A work back in towards A. And the Nation are predicting this. A well-timed smoke as well, and a shift as well from the Brimstone.
Ooh, but that's so good. They bait out the ultimate from Wardell just with that 1 KO flash.
And they're expecting
and
to rotate.
They might still go in. Zexro sticks around. I mean, they're still expecting a KO flash.
And Wardell is alone here, all by his lonesome. His Trick is selling this fake. His footsteps alone have drawn everybody towards this site, and Wardell even as well. And by the time they realize it, it's just way too late.
So good from Trick. If anyone spots him, they got him. For the Nation now, no chance. I mean, Dark Ratio switching it up. I mean, the Nation, they were the one with a slow, methodical play, but Dark Ratio, just off of 2 contacts, able to play with the heads of the Nation.
And he's just gonna get stunned. Can Wardell capitalize? Good for 1. Wanted the second as well. Just barely finds him. And now Rossi, stinger from long range. There's a difference with it as Xro. They're gonna back away. I think they understand the circumstance that they're in here. The Nation, they're just looking for exits. They'll keep drone on the site, but the time is just so far gone. And it seems nearly impossible, as they're gonna actually force these 2 players to commit. And Brax wanted a little bit of extra damage. Both players would get away from the spike. And they tie things up here, 8-8, as the Nation will be back in their full buy here.
For the rest of this one now, Zexro will, living up to the expectations put upon them before this BO3. But on the other side, the defensive side, we need those first contacts to go right. Tig has had a lot of them. Brax has had a few of them. Wardell too. And none of them are going right here for the Nation.
And they're looking fast to get out towards Sand here. Will has got the showstopper, but he likes to hold on to it. And they'll get out very quick off the stun. And now Wardell, a big challenge and a really nice trade. But now comes out the ultimate. And Will looking for editing. He spotted Stewie, but it's a little bit late. 2 versus 2 here. And they know where the plant is coming through. And Tig not looking to contest, but 1 smoke left for the retake.
Good timing off the boom bot. It'll be a while too. No util from Will. Wondering what the Brim's got, but surely if it's a molly, it would just delay. But this spot is so cheeky, so cheeky from Will. Just a 1 and done in this type of situation is all you really need. Brax, indeed he's done. Backs out towards main to play with their teammate. And now Tig gonna try his hardest to ninja defuse here. And it might just work. The molly's gonna go in. It's gonna chip him away. He's down to 6 HP. Can't do much, but try again potentially. He's got it down to half.
And Will's got a nade here.
He's not gonna try it. The nade goes in. Tig has to save. Dark Ratio. This is the first time any team has gotten a lead on the Nation on this map. They gotta continue this momentum.
And it's only 1 rifle saved over as well. Very minimal damage done to this economy of Dark Ratio. And for a Nation team that have played 3 full halves on Fracture and won 11-1 yesterday against Breakthrough. To let 5 successful plants go down in a row has got to be a harrowing fact to realize and to let set in. Trick is gonna throw a crazy knife as well to fake this B, to fake this A play. Will is gonna, that's gonna set Will up. I don't know if they're gonna actually full commit off of this. I can't imagine they will. As Zexro feels an influx of players towards B, that might cue them instead to go back towards A, and it looks like it has. Feeling that pressure, he's gonna pull away.
Zexro. I mean, he's just dragging everyone here. Dark Ratio is going to have an easy plan. Doesn't matter if Zexro ends up going down. This is the pinnacle of what Zexro's role has been for the last 2 maps.
Spike planted.
Attract, get your frags, even though it's just a KJ, right?
Mange is already watching this fight, so really no opportunities for the Nation to find any damage. I think Miniker, I mean, they've had very successful timeouts. And this might be a moment where you want another voice to come in. This Dark Ratio will be walking away out of this round, presumably with these 5 rifles. Tig holding on to the only one that came into this round. And they're not even going to give Stewie the extra ult point if he goes down to one of them. They'll die to the spike. And the first team to ever get +5 rounds, let alone double digits, is Dark Ratio. And now within 3 of joining these teams and challengers.
Getting dangerously close. Again, the losses have been plentiful here for the defensive side, so maybe some loss bonus going on, of course. They're going to be able to buy for the foreseeable future, but Dark Ratio, how do they switch things up? It might be the first time where we see that big arcade entry, but that's just not going to happen. They're going to split it back up.
And it's 3 major ultimates here as well. I think the goal here is to get Droden towards under heaven, or under tunnel.
Oh, look at this.
And it's a crunch play here, at least from this one part of the map. Stun, smoke, and then Wardell to get aggressive.
They're going to retake it.
They
3 players swinging out of the
back,
smoke.
and they just leave Wardell.
They have to readjust for sight. They have no idea where the take could actually be coming from. Zekro, yeah, he's got it.
And it's in such
Lockdown
an off position as well. There's no way the Aftershock would hit that, and they're not even going to try it. They'll slowly re-clear towards top arcade. Zexro even going to get the spot as well in a second, and maybe even a frag. He's going to be a nuisance to deal with as they try to retake this site.
Yeah, they backed on out from it for good reason. It's going to be a while. The knife is going to be able to reveal a few, but so much utility is being used by the Nation just to get through these back choke points. It's not even close to sight yet. But Will, this is such an important spot. The Rolling Thunder is going to go down on him, and he needs some headshots. The Rolling Thunder from Drone. Drone doesn't get anything. Nobody from Tower ends up getting stunned. Tig is fine. 3 players now remaining for Dark Ratio. Big action again. Trick holding on. These players are just playing away from sight, and for good reason. It's starting to get chaotic, and they have an orbital strike to use, and they use it. We wait some time now. They try to go down for the defuse. It is down to half. They are going to try it. The spray from Mange. He has to do it again. Missing out. The bullets are gone. And
he get it.
Doesn't hit. The Nation play every single opportunity they could to get back on site. And they finally get it at the end.
1 second left in the Nation. Just barely getting it across the line. But it is so close. They had to use 2 major ultimates, both sides using every single ult in their playbook. And they keep us alive here. They keep their economy intact, but Miniker has called a timeout. And it's no longer a question of which player can you bring back to life. Who's going to be the standout player? It's a matter of team play at this point. It's far too late to ask if Wardell can get into the mix, if Rossi's going to step up, if Will and Zexor are going to be the top fraggers for Dark Ratio. It's a mind game here. And pressure is on both sides. Dark Ratio have the advantage, and it's Nation. They've got to play catch up here.
Oh boy. Oh boy. Such close rounds too. There's no real difference maker. There's no real difference that they can make. I mean, if anything, Dark Ratio, they're heading into these 3-man, 4-man sites, almost getting shut down, but they drag these players back just with like a couple of smokes. The full retake does happen. Flippy, Flippy, you did that yourself. You put that tweet up yourself.
The KO ultimate for Dark Ratio to kind of lead them into this site. And they're 4 again, trying to get into tower, but they're doing it so quietly this time around. Wardell has been in this position. We saw him the other day with just an operator, but this time, his Phantom is going to be the key player, yet to pick up the op in this entire map. And it's way too quiet. I don't know if the Nation have any idea where this is coming from. I think that haunt, though, will kind of cue them up, and those smokes are so well primed.
Yeah,
Wardell.
Wardell's in a really good position, though. Oh, he could have been good for one, but now they isolate their teammate back into tower.
Tig is playing in the
Do a
smoke.
whole lot more work, though, but they got the knife on him. They know he's there. Tig just goes through and gets the kill and can walk on out potentially, but he wants to go through the smoke. Almost able to get 1 or 2 more kills there from tower, but it's just the equalizer. Everyone has been able to rotate, though, before
And
the
the
spike goes
Nate
down.
fade combo, they're going to try and keep the spike from going down. And Drone, fearing that it was headed towards him, it actually goes into the default spot, not behind the box. And now they can get the play. Stewie! He just walks into the grenade!
Well, he's full flashed.
And the aftershock is too late. Brax on alert. Brax on alert. Brax to get another. And it's 3v2.
It could be these last two to be heroes, Ainge and Zexro. It has to be Ainge once again. A 1v3. He's going to try to delay time with the molly. Does he have the lineup for it? Surely he does.
Such an
Here comes
easy
the
one.
first swing. Wardell, can he go big? Is Brax right behind him? The flash is going in. Ainge running away, playing some more time. But the molly's not going to cover up in time either. The defuse will go in. We're tied again.
Come here.
Dark Ratio. I think they tried to pounce onto that site, but I mean, huge play from Tig. One of the key factors in winning that round, and he has been instrumental in any success that this Nation side has had. That is the first string of successful retakes that the Nation have had. And it comes in the form of a big Tig play over towards rope. Now in this round, Stewie and Wardell with ults. And you can see, I think they're trying to set Wardell up in towards main, where he can ult showstopper off of a stun from Rossi. I could be wrong, but Dark Ratio, they're nowhere near there, and it's going to be a full play towards B again, similar to what we've been seeing with this 4-1 split.
I mean, again and again, it's been this side, but again, the Nation, they have no early contact for Arcade. They have no one watching. If anything, it's going to be the Brim who's going to be smoked off soon.
And I think the way Dark Ratio have been playing is keeping Nation on their toes for a fast rotate or a fast hit onto A instead. That kind of quiet pop in the last round, they don't know if this is a fake. They don't know if it's a full commit. Wardell is taking space, and I think eventually you have to realize this is going towards the B site.
They haven't re-cleared Dish. We are still just watching over A main. They might
doing
be
it.
trying to put in some util A main.
No. They're faking. They're faking the same main hit, right?
Yeah,
There's
yeah,
no
yeah.
way with the spike going back towards
Finally.
top arcade. This is gonna pull 100% at least one. But I think with the setup they have now, it shouldn't pull anyone.
Ooh, the showstopper's gonna get
catches
shut
him.
down by the knife. All too good. Wardell, it's gonna take a while, but everyone from Dark Ratio, you should start running. That showstopper can still come out.
No, he can't. I think the knife actually cancels out fully still though. Ainge.
Well done.
Smokes will come out here. Again, this time it's not Tig in towards tower. It's gonna be Brax in his cage. Springs out and can't get it.
He goes out real early too, doesn't wait for a plant, wanted to shock him as they go into the middle of sight. No retake ultimates here
Oh,
for
and
the
Trick and
Nation.
Zexro. Double molly to hold that kind of play back.
This is pretty much a quadruple crossfire.
Oh, they're gonna clear him out. They're gonna take him out with the C's. No, it doesn't connect.
One up front. Trick is trying to run away and go back, but no, it's not gonna work out. Will spots Wardell crossing. Wardell is free into sight, but again, 2 into tower. That's too dangerous. There's no way he's gonna expect
Whoa.
it. Finally, Tig finds Will. I don't even think he found him. Barely found a shoulder, but Ainge hold on to the one. Stewie, a tall task with only 20 HP, is going to be able to get 1 kill. It is all red here in terms of HP for Dark Ratio, but the round is done. Dark Ratio on 11.
Does Drone get away? He doesn't. Only 1 rifle saved. And we'll see the economic implications for 1 more buy to get onto 12. Both teams running exacerbatedly low on both of their economies.
And the loss bonus is gone for the nation. They lose this round, Sully. I mean, it's the red carpet for Dark Ratio. They're into challengers at that point.
And with such stakes, they're doing it with a Sheriff, 2 rifles, a Stinger, and a Spectre. Dark Ratio are going to take this one slow. Bait out this early util. Knife as well, trying to clear that early A main pressure out. I think they're trying to force him into a B hit. But they're rotated 1 back as well. And it's that slow style. I have questions about that early ultimate.
Yeah, because we saw Dark Ratio re-clear A main. Just with 1 piece of utility earlier. Could easily happen again.
Way too early. Not even with a stun. Not even with a flash. Just a straight up ult after 1 contact. And that, honestly, I felt that ultimate would have been one of the saviors in this round, but it's not there anymore. And they're going to pounce. Stun in towards tower and Will straight up in.
Is there going to be any answer? Wardell in the middle of the cage. There's actually 2 players in the middle of the cage. Wardell trying to swing, and they're both gone.
5 versus 3. It's given Will the ultimate, and it's probably given Dark Ratio the 12th. They will get 1. Rossi's good to find at least 1 kill there. I think that puts him 6 out of 6 ult points towards the ultimate. But I really don't think they have it in them to take this retake on. It might just have to be saved these 2 rifles. And yeah, Trick already knows where 1 is going to be coming from. Think down, hold on, hold the phone. They're still attempting it.
Yep, still 2 incredibly important ultimates. Could play some time here. Zextro looking to take down Rossi and gets him. Zextro decides to just press the escape button on his own and just hold W.
Match point.
He finished this round out on his own.
And he has had an exceptional second half on the attack. From really hardly putting any numbers up on the board when it came to that attacking side, between Icebox and between Bind. He has stepped up huge in this second half. 13 kills to his name alone in this second half. And it was a very weak buy on the side of Dark Ratio. And now they have an even lesser buy to work with now. Zextro, a massive 3K again. He is just playing so confident and out of this world. Didn't step up on buy, but now he stepped up massively here in the 3rd map and in the 3rd quarter, the 4th quarter, if you will.
Didn't expect this to be the map for him to do so, but comes in at a good time too. I mean, that play at the end, that was actually fully necessary for him to get the ulti that he has now. That changes the complexity of this next round entirely for the nation.
It's all about calming the nerves here. This timeout for Dark Ratio is just as much yours. Look at this buy. Doesn't get any worse than this, really. On a last round ditch effort.
Wow.
And the goal of this team was to prove everyone wrong. 1 round could send them home.
They would have to try again next week.
And now Dark Ratio are going to play this one slow. A 255 team gauntlet in 1 round is what separates them between Challengers qualification. And it's 3 ultimates to play with here for Dark Ratio. And it's quiet. Way too quiet. But the stack has been read perfectly well. Lockdown's going to get called,
right
but are they going to play for the sand control? And I don't think Dark Ratio have taken the bait. They're not pushing. They're not moving. A Rolling Thunder for this retake is all they've got, though.
They're actually really going for this. The Rolling Thunder's going to hold them back. And these 2 players who are held up in Dish have to do pretty much everything. They go into the middle of the site. The orbital hits. Zextro finally going in. Zextro with a huge openers. Now it's only 1 once again. Wardell can't do anything. Dark Ratio have made it to Challengers.
Revenge is theirs. A loss against them in the upper bracket to drop them